Markets back to the upside here this morning in a pretty big way, thanks in part, mostly, to semiconductors right now, and AMD specifically. Sharif and I were just sitting here trying to figure out what that high was. 227.30 looks like the number we got to keep in mind here. We're pushing right up to that in the next couple of minutes here. That's a weekly chart. If you zoom in a little bit, that's a 15-minute chart for you. Absolutely explosive move to the upside here for AMD. Joining the OpenAI party is AMD. If you missed it this morning, we'll get into the details coming up here. Lots to look ahead to this week. Potentially, anyways, we could get some inflation data. We probably won't get any inflation data, however, with this government shutdown continuing on the back of a non-farm payrolls print on Friday. We probably won't get CPI this week anyways. I was reading a lot this morning on Bloomberg. They had a couple of people actually on the show, and then a couple of notes I was reading after the fact talking about back to a 3 handle. Even if we did get this CPI print this week, there's a pretty good chance, all indications anyways are pointing that we could be back to a 3 handle, which the market might not want to see anyway, so this could be actually a good thing.
Well, when you're growing at 3.8% to GDP, that is, Brendo, you're going to have some inflation come along with it, especially since we've been waiting for the tariff inflation to kick in, which still hadn't, guys. AMD is absolutely rocketing up. We'll get more on that as the rundown continues, but it really is a good deal with OpenAI. I think they're looking at about 6 gigawatts of AMD's GPUs. And it's going to be in the second half of 2026. Separately, Brendo, our very good friend Elon Musk taking to his social media platform X yesterday, giving us a couple of teasers. We don't really know what they are. It could be a Model 2, it could be a move into possibly the Roadster business, or even some eVTOLs people are or questioning with Archer or Joby. So lots to talk about there. And then UiPath, a nice move up on the back of last week's news, up 12% here in the pre-market.
Elon being Elon, he never gives much away.
No.
He teases it well.
I kind of like the cryptic
he never
message.
Gives much away. The tech reviewer, MKBHD, canceled his Roadster.
I heard about that. Well,
breaking news.
He said he had 2.
Yeah.
One he actually paid $50,000 for, and that $50,000 obviously sat dormant for a couple of years. Yeah. And then the other one, I think he schlepped to $500.
Maybe are we ever going to see it? Who knows? Latest comment here from Lisa Su, AMD CEO, saying under the OpenAI deal to take stake in AMD, also directly tied to increasing AMD stock price milestones, with the final tranche vesting at a price of $600 per share. So there's a mix of warrants and also a ton of stock as well involved in this deal. But the market clearly liking this. A ton of volume behind this already. We're already back to highs here once again in the pre-market every time I look away and then come back to the chart. Day highs here for AMD, finally joining the OpenAI party. We'll touch more on this coming up. I mean, big week in general anyways, as far as the market is concerned. Again, will we or won't we get inflation data coming up over the next couple of days? In fact, we're supposed to. That's all going to depend on this government shutdown that continues. Neil with the day off today. Obi's in. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, what a crazy morning. We used to call it advanced money destroyer. It's looking like advanced money duplicator right now. That's what it's looking like.
Yeah. We got to come up with more things than that. We got to get another one. It's definitely
easy, man.
Definitely off on our races. But hey, man, this is what we're talking about for being forever long. I mean, this is the market. You and I talk about this all the time, and it's you never know the stories that are around the corner, especially with these big, huge, multi-billion-dollar deals, trillion-dollar deals, like taking 10% stake possible in the company. Yeah. I mean, it's huge, and it just keeps on going on. I think it's getting a little bubblicious, it seems like to me right now, with all these companies just sort of piling into this space. But hey, can revenues and can profits eventually be realized from this AI surge? I mean, I'm guessing yes. The other side of the coin right here today is NVIDIA is making $100 billion purchases and agreements and all this kind of stuff with OpenAI as well. And they're getting to the downside right now, down 1.3% on that AMD news. So, I guess if AMD and OpenAI are going to team up, that's going to be less demand here maybe for NVIDIA chips, but the lineups apparently are still out the door for everything AI and chip related. So, as we see in this marketplace, Marvell, I mean, it's just like I was saying, it's all picks and shovels, baby, and Marvell up another 2.5% as well as that continues to go. You've got names like Broadcom. There's all, we're going to go over AMD. I mean, obviously that's going to be the big story of the day, but you have the other major, there's three major players, right? There's NVIDIA, AMD, and Broadcom, and right now the other two are down, and AMD is, as we had just said here, I just pushed on my caps lock, is approaching all-time highs. Up in that 227-ish area. So we're going to wait to see, Obi. When I was driving in today, we were talking, I was thinking $200. You know, it was holding, and I was like, okay, this is a pretty decent level. By the time I finally sit down in my chair, you're telling, you know, you were here before me, and you're just like, oh my God, dude, AMD's now up 30+% and ripping. And there it goes, now up 35%. So yeah, we've got Obi in the jungle today.
I walked in the building. The first thing I told Sharif was like, yo, AMD 200.
Yeah.
$20 later. $20 later.
Oh yeah.
It's at 220.
No, I know. Yeah. Did you punch
How crazy?
long?
No, I did not.
No, it's a tough one. These are tough trades, I think, especially in the pre-market when
because it was already up. Like I'm trying to like just dabble in the short a little bit here right now in the pre-market, and I don't think this is not the best right now. Just
yeah. Well, I was just thinking, what about just breaking the top right there?
Action. Yeah, there it is. That's what I'm saying. I saw it coming. I'm like, all right, I got to jump out of this one. This is clearly not gonna have me. Not gonna have the shorts.
Did you just have the short?
Yeah. I shorted it like once already before.
Like it just popped 225.
Once already, 220s. That was nice. 220s. The first push of 220s, 223s was a high. Pulled back in. I was like, all right, if we pull back, maybe take a breather back down to 210s. That's a prior high there. But yeah, 218 halves held.
I'm catching really a short in this at some point today.
And funny enough, that 200, man, there was a 203.50 ARCA buyer that would not let go. I'm like, okay, we'll see what this guy does. I get up to go to the bathroom. I come back. This thing is pushing 210s, and I'm like, all right, well.
You and Neil have a lot in common. Both of you get up for bathrooms and miss like the best trades of the day. It seems like that always happens to my best friend.
You know, this is the kind of market where honestly, like, I feel like if you leave your desk, like the probability of missing something is so high.
Oh, I mean, leave my desk every day for an hour and a half. In the middle of the day, I come back, and yeah, you're right. Like sometimes either I'll have a small little trade on, and I'll come back, and it's like, oh my God, Tesla's now $10 in the money or something. Like when they start to run, they start to run, and we're doing that right now with AMD. My question mark is, how in the hell is AMD going to pay for all of this? They're not even making money, or they're barely making any money whatsoever with this ChatGPT program. Sure, it's the most downloaded, most used application potentially of all time, I believe. At least started out as. And they're not able to monetize this. So I guess as long as the investors are lined up giving all this money, then they can put it all to work. I don't know, a little nervous about everything here. But I'm positive about AMD. I think it's a great run there that's happened. What happened to the bananas?
They're green.
Oh, they're green. Okay, the peaches have been
Thank you very much.
lately. All right. You know what I mean? They don't have the right color. Like this peach is just all.
Looks a little.
At least yours got a little color.
Faded.
Yeah. Faded. Yeah.
It's a little faded.
I'd chuck it that way, but I don't want to hit anything. No, we're not going to chuck food. We're not going to chuck food. Ooh. That could be good. Peaches, I like peaches, man. Peaches for me, peaches for you. You ever heard that song, Presidents of the United States of America, Peaches? No. Millions of peaches, peaches for free. You never heard that song?
What's that? Peaches down in Georgia.
Oh, Bieber.
Yes,
yeah.
That's the Peaches song.
Yeah, Bieber is, I like Bieber, man. He's legit. That song, Daisies, is pretty good. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, lots to happen here. I'm not going to sit down and talk negatively about the space, but I am worried for sure. I think as we all need to be probably
frothy.
About, you know, how much froth there is in this space. We just touched 225. We're down $3.
Get it.
Obi, we might have. I want a backside short, just like I think you probably do.
I'm getting ready for a little 35. I mean, here's the thing. The news is great. I think it's amazing. I definitely like the long. The long is working out well. Intraday overextension, yeah, a little bit. But you know, I'm open to anything, to be honest. The reversion on NVIDIA was absolutely beautiful. I am definitely open to AI, Sean. That was a good one.
OpenAI.
That was a great one.
What were you thinking about? I mean, I was trying to catch a long in NVIDIA actually at some point. Were you thinking of shorting it? If it
no, so the long on NVIDIA was what I was thinking of. Again, like being like, okay, it's sold off, it's selling off into some prior levels here. I wasn't really watching it as closely as some of the AMD here earlier. So this was pure squeeze. Like that 210 push was so squeezy, and I was just like, oh boy, all right, we're starting to squeeze, and that's what gave me a little bit of conviction on the first back through of 220. I'm like, all right, if this is really squeeze, when that buying pressure starts to dissipate, do we really start to kind of fall apart? And the answer so far has been no. So, you know,
here comes right back to 223 right now.
Yeah, exactly. So the strength is definitely there. We're coming into what? It's still 8:40, right? We still got about just under an hour before the market opens.
We want people to start here. You know what? Let's start. Thank you, Randy. Randy, what a weekend for those Blue Jays, man. 23 runs, like, and that Trey is savage. I was at Magna Center, man. I was in Newmarket. Nice spot there over the weekend. We drew 1-1 against the Central York Panthers. But yeah, what a good.
Savage.
I didn't see either game, but apparently that dome was electric, boy.
Unreal.
When he hit that grand
part
slam.
of one game. I was just sitting. It was just like. Toronto was winning like 7-1 against New York. I think.
Yeah. So they were. It was a huge 23 runs in 2 games.
Crazy.
And then now we got Bieber, who's comfortable playing in New York. So, but they rode on. Like, I think their pitching is a little bit better, but our bats are starting to heat up. I was yelling at Vladdy this whole time the last 2 weeks, and look what happened, man. This guy stepped up. That grand slam, his very first at bat of the playoffs, home run. Incredible, man. I mean, now he's 6 for 9 this year. The Savage is going crazy.
We need a broom animation.
Oh no, I'm not. I don't think the series is. I think the series is far from over.
No, I don't.
You're calling sweep. Oh boy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Big call.
Yankee fans. Right. There's a hell of a lot of people from New York watching this, so I'm going to reserve that opinion for later potentially. But I'm going to do this right now just to get you guys going a little bit here early. I'm going to refresh this. So this is our stock visualizer, optimizer. What you got to do is you just got to put in here right now, and you got to put in like BBAI. And then when you put in BBAI, it'll float into here somewhere. There it is right there. And now we will start to, is that MSTR's new logo? What is that? Anyways, all these logos, PayPal, A69. So now we'll start to get all these all populated here, and it'll include what we're up today, what we're down today, SOPA up, Rigetti's, what? Are these the numbers from, how much is Rigetti up today? RGTI. Yeah, okay. So it's still taking, woo. All right, so these numbers that we're taking in right here, we're gonna look at this once the market opens up. They're not, I was like, is Rigetti's not up another 30% today? No, Rigetti's actually down. So, okay, so get that going. Obi and I will review the stock visualizer, obviously, as the day goes on and as the morning goes on, to try to figure out what stocks are hot and not, in your opinion, because I've already asked here on Twitter, and I was like, okay, we have a huge deal. I'm gonna refresh this. We have a huge deal in the space here today with AMD and OpenAI. What are we looking at right now? So get over also into this fun, and we'll start joining it. I just put it out there on Twitter. So, let me know what stocks you guys are thinking about here today on that post there as well. But yeah, it's going to be a good one. Any names other than AMD that caught your eyes straight away?
AMD and NVIDIA for sure, and ones I don't want to miss out on, and I want to keep an eye out on as well. From the end of day last week, were both Ford and GM. We saw some crazy bids come in, and they held prices, and they're holding those same.
Ford's up this morning, I believe.
Ford's gapping up a little bit. It's holding structure above its after hours highs as of right now. So for both Ford and GM, I'm going to be looking. If that bid is still going to be there, I do want to look for a potential continuation on either of those names. So I like that. I'm making sure I'm keeping eyes on that, not getting too distracted from advanced money duplicator over here. And 185s on NVIDIA. That's all the way back down to prices from last week on Friday as well, I think. So going to be watching for the NVIDIA bid. We see that NVIDIA, whenever it pulls back for a couple of days, there's always a little bit of a bid that just shows up and kind of puts us back in towards that upper end of the price action, upper echelon of price action that it's been holding. So yeah, those are the names that I have on watch. Palantir as well from last week.
I'm just checking to see if I have any AMD shares. Like honestly, oh, you're short now. Okay, look at this.
I mean, I'm trying to short.
All right, one guy that knows a little bit of something about price action, or at least he pretends he does, and he's been pretty good at it so far. So let's go over to one of our favorite guests and one of our original, providers of content to the show, and great ideas, easy to ask questions to. You can go find this guy all over social media as well. Let's go back over the desk. It's Michael Noss and Brendo.
Heyo.
Let's get Michael Noss' thoughts here to kick off a brand new week, and we're going to talk about, and I love this idea, Mr. Noss. Happy Monday. The top. Monday. A lot of people have been pointing to, okay, it feels like we should be running into some sort of resistance at some point. I think a good point to make going into this is the simple fact that we're not there yet, and there doesn't have to be a top. We can just kind of float and float and float for the foreseeable future here. But if you go back in time, talked about a little bit anyways about what has happened in the past when we get to that toppy area.
Yeah, and I think this is important because, I hear all the time, and myself included, hopefully you've got a lot of investments on the go and they're working out fantastically. So our nervousness gets from what does this bear market look like to, okay, where's the top? When do I have to sell it? And that's our job, I think, as traders and investors, is we have to understand that we're probably going to give some back when there's that next kind of bear market and things pull back, but the job is as little as possible. So I think the easiest way to do that, and what I've kind of prepared for you guys today, is just go back and say, okay, let's go back. I went and I grabbed all of the major tops before bear markets from the year 2000, and let's just take a look at what they looked like. And, there's a whole theme to this that I'll get to at the end. But so this is the year 2000. This is right before the dot-com bubble where the markets went down, 50+% in a period of time. This is the S&P 500. If you look at the Nasdaq, it's obviously going to be even way worse than this. But the top is always going to be in these charts, these purple shaded area. And you can see with this one, right, we break down, we come back to try to reclaim that, we fail that, and then we finally start the downtrend and the decline. So then quickly over to the next one, which funny enough happens at the exact same area for those who I guess haven't been around, aren't as old as me. Remember the 2008 where we came up to the old 2000 highs and then we flirted around for, you can see, almost 6 months plus, almost probably a year, and then we break down, and then we come back to try to retest that, and then we have a 57% decline on the S&P 500 because there's a lot of finance in the S&P 500. Next one here is going to be 2020, right? So this is the COVID, geez, how did I forget that? But you can see COVID being probably the fastest bear market in history and the fastest bear market that I've ever seen. We had this massive decline that happened really, really fast. But before then, you can see it just didn't happen all at once. You didn't hit a new all-time high and then completely fall apart. You had support areas that got broken. You've got early warning signs. You got big candles to the downside. Next one here is going to be 2022, 2023. Call this the Russia-Ukraine or increasing in rates or inflation or whatever it was. And again, we kind of see the same pattern. We get up to, and then we break down from a support area. This time twice we come back to try to break it, and we fail both times. And then a 27% decline. Last but not least is the one from this year. So April, it seems like forever ago. But the same kind of pattern. You had the initial sell-off. It tries to come back and retake, and then it fails, and then you have the fast decline. So the main takeaway I want to give to everyone here is an old Wall Street saying where bottoms are an event, which you can see on this chart. Usually you have an event that causes a bottom, but then tops are a process. And what that saying essentially just means is that it takes a period of time, and actually a long period of time, generally speaking, to churn through the top. At the top of the market is generally when you have the best looking news and everything looks phenomenal. And there is always an absolute top. You can always look back and say, okay, that candle was the top. But in none of these cases did we make a new all-time high and then just completely fall down like 50% without warning. They start with a little decline. They start with, trying to retake that old high and failing. And then there's some kind of rollover event after that. So that's just the main takeaway I wanted to give, is that, yes, there will be a top. to this at some point. But I think going back in time and studying all of these tops beforehand just tell us that it's not a day that we have to worry about that's going to take back all of our profits and turn into a bear market. It will be a process. You'll see support start to break. You'll see rallies stop getting to new highs, things like that. So you'll have some, generally in the past anyway, you'll have some amount of warning to take place when it's actually time to kind of move to the sidelines.
The interesting aspect of that as well, every single one of those you mentioned came along with a thing, going all the way back to 2000, 2001, all the way through to this year, as you mentioned, with the tariff tantrum that the market had going back to April. So if we can tie it to a thing or an event or some sort of macro-related type of issue that the market needs to digest, it's almost worth just keeping an eye out for anything that seems kind of bubbling under the surface and might come to the surface at some point and maybe starting to take a little bit off if you feel like that time could be coming.
Yeah, and it's not only a thing, but it's the thing that no one expects, right? And I always try to look at that where if everyone looks and says, this is the thing, right? Quantum computers have gotten too overheated or something. It's generally not the thing that brings us down. During 2008, the beginning of it anyway, no one really was paying attention to these collateralized mortgage securities and all of this weird stuff, right? COVID just kind of came out of left field. I remember leading up to Liberation Day, everyone was, I don't think there's anyone that was expecting tariffs as wide as they were. So yeah, it's not only an event that also comes with the down of the bear market, but yeah, it's some event that nobody sees coming. So that's why I think it definitely makes sense to kind of keep your eyes out for what are people not talking about? What are the numbers that no one really seems to be looking at? And then wait for price action to confirm, because there'll always be things that kind of point to bear markets that never end up becoming a thing.
And more so on the other side of that as well, maybe not the time to start chasing things that are a little bit more extended than others as well.
Yeah, and if you look at all of those charts, it preceded chop. And to be honest, I think that choppy action for us active traders is actually more of a big deal, because you're right, people will start chasing breakouts and chasing new highs and doing things like that. Whereas the only way to survive these choppy markets, whenever we get into one, is usually, buying dips and selling rips and staying active and, like on this show and day trading and doing, shorter term things. And then when the bear market really starts, well, at least you're not the guy who kind of chased that all-time highs. You were waiting for pullback. So your exit should be closer to your entry anyway.
If you zoom in a little bit, maybe at the group level, sector level, individual stock level, not one-to-one, but it would be interesting to apply the same sort of theory. So if you have something in your portfolio that might be a little bit overdone, per se, in NVIDIA or something along those lines, if it starts looking along the same lengths and the same lines, maybe that's the one that you go to first.
Well, and if you look at those tops of the bull markets, that makes perfect sense. You had the dot-com bubble. You would have had internet stocks that you were up huge on. So paring some of that down made sense. And then when you have this particular pullback, it's usually one sector that starts it. And there's only a couple sectors that are big enough to matter. And that's, healthcare, finance, right now, semiconductors, not to disparage the quantum computers, but these could all go to zero tomorrow and it wouldn't affect the S&P 500 like 1%. So yeah, pay attention to the big sectors that you're in that maybe you're a little bit overweight on, because one of those, we don't know what, but one of those will likely start to decline. And it'd be good to be paring some of that out on the way up.
As long as we continue to not get any economic data from the government that's on vacation, everything's fine. Michael Knox, back with us after the close tonight. Good to see you.
I'll talk to you then. I guess no news is good news until then.
Now, what the heck? I was just looking at Rigetti over there, thinking about going long, and now we're going to zero on these things?
Oh, boy.
No, Michael didn't call that, but yeah, no, good points over there again. As we keep on looking at these markets, and it's a little bit of euphoric, right? When you look at some names like an AMD, and like the names, like the way that quantum is moved, and we had talked about this, like, I've been raising cash, and it has not been a good decision. I mean, the market continues to go higher. Like we got out of some some Intel. We got out of some Palantir, although that seems to be a good decision. And I think that's what you have to do. You have to do exactly what Michael said there. See if there's some names that are maybe potentially frothy or exuberant and have maybe gotten a little carried away. And I don't want to say that Rigetti or the whole quantum space is completely falling apart or anything like that. But there are some, areas of, excitement that continue to be in the market, including like another move up another 4% today. And the thing about what I'm thinking about with as far as SMR is concerned and Oklo and some of these nuclear names here is that if this AI theme continues to play out, which it seems like it's going to at least into the end of the year, right? Then yeah, all this power generation is going to have to come from somewhere. And we know that nuclear names continue to be really hot. I mean, I think that you might want to just go into, and this is a play that Neil had as part of his year idea, and that's GE Vernova, and what a bang up trade this has been, although it's not right now catching as much wind as I thought it would back into these areas. So this is a play that I really like, GE Vernova, thinking that this could also create some nice little tailwinds for itself into the space, including, racks, powering of server racks and just everything that they're involved with over there on the power side. So I do like GE Vernova, and I really today like Tesla as well, getting back to the upside. So there's a couple of different ideas that we have. AMD only 34 million shares so far traded there today. I see Obi's got a little bit of a short on, but
yeah, I'm staring this thing down, man.
Anything we want to talk about before we go over to Joe, or?
No,
you're just looking at AMD. So I think both of us are looking for the AMD backside trade. For what I was telling Obi, and I know he's taking a couple shots at this, but obviously we're not risking too much capital here in the pre-market, I would assume. I don't want to speak for you, but the other thing, well, even though I just did, the other thing, I have no idea how many shares you're using. So, but at the end of the day, I was going to say I could see, which is what I mentioned Obi, because I know he's short. I could see us kind of blowing out the top, maybe a little bit of AMD if it happens. Just had so much excitement right off the open, then people start exercising their options. And you had a story that there's a friend of ours that did have an AMD option that he closed on Friday. Wasn't it Friday expiration, or
No. It was
longer dated. Okay, so and there's going to be other traders that have held on to those and then realize they wake up today and it's like, wow, I was holding on AMD just for the ride, and now I get like the ride of a lifetime potentially. So
like if you had like almost $80 worth of premium from Friday to right now.
I mean, you're up 35% on $1 billion. Like this is a $1 trillion. It's not a $1 trillion company, but one of these mega cap names that continues to go higher. The options, it's like on that day when Oracle reported, no one thought that their implied move was like 6% on earnings, and they were up 40-something%. So when you get options plays like this, and we're going to go to Joe in a second. I don't know if he's talking about options, but we do have upgrades and downgrades. I think that's a big piece of the puzzle today in the space, are options, because NVIDIA, any calls on there, you're down 2 or 3%. Same thing on Broadcom, but the winner today is AMD. All right, Joe, let's go.
Good morning, everyone, and good morning, Hamster One, and good morning, Adam. I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. Let's get it started. Let's get rocking and rolling here, guys. We'll take a look at the upgrades and some of the downgrades. At the top of the list this morning, we have Johnson & Johnson getting that price target raised by Sanford Seed & Bernstein to $193. We're also getting a nod from Jefferies Financials, with Ford getting that price target raised to $12. Now, Affirm also on that list as well, too, guys. Price target raised to $101. Now, Micron Technology by Morgan Stanley up nice today. So following some of the chip names, 5.86%, getting that price target raised to $220. Now, guys, on the downgrade side, we have Dollar Tree getting it lowered to $100 by Sanford C. Bernstein. It's actually going from a neutral weight to underperform as well, to Boston Beer. So shout out to Samuel Adams there, getting that lowered to $235 by Citigroup, and American Express as well, too, guys, getting that price target lowered and the downgrade going from neutral to underperform. So 336 is that specific target. And then Abercrombie and Fitch by JP Morgan getting it lowered to 103. Now, let's take a look at some of the options activity. All right, we had Bitcoin tapping into 125,000 over the weekend. So let's take a look at this week's expiration cycle. Yes, a big bang to that one. Another one. We'll throw another one on that one for sure. That was fun. Hey, On the birthday, we'll take that for sure, 125,000. I was talking with Sharif. Anyways, enough of that. Open interest sitting around 39,500, volume 38,200 at that specific $70 strike price. Let's see if we can surpass that. There is some open interest around that $72 strike price. We won't be able to see it displayed right now, but we'll just take a double look to see what our delta is around 72, and that is not being displayed either. So we'll have to be a little bit more patient on that. One thing that I do want to be able, hopefully, to display, if not, we'll have to wait until the midday, is what's going on with AMD. There is some data, so I'll pull that up momentarily, but the IWM coming up on the scanner as well, too, guys, with 14,000 contracts still currently open at that 249 strike price, and that's going to be expiring this week once again. SoFi hitting the list as well, guys. Volume on that 26 strike is going to be 16,900, and some relative open interest laying there. Now, let's head over to the AMD here and see if we see anything in particular. I mean, this is where we're trading at the money. It's absolutely insane right now. We're not going to get any data, but I mean, that's going to be the at the money delta. So you're going to see that around 0.6, 0.5, anywhere around that realm. And then wait until the open, and then you're going to see the open interest and that volume really start to kick in on this name, especially if it, like Katina Man said this morning, okay, there we go. So we're starting to get a little bit of data as we're rolling along here. At that 185 strike price, you got 22,900 currently open, and that's going to be next week's expiration cycle. Now watch for these numbers to continue to grow, and then the volume's most definitely going to be stepping in on this name, considering we've already put in a lot of shares this morning, guys. Go Jays, go.
Yes, and a big happy belated birthday to my guy over there. So yeah, what a great present everybody got there on Sunday. So wow. Yeah,
it hit my alert, and I was like, oh boy, it's let's go. And it was I think it was Saturday night, Sunday morning.
Yeah.
If I'm correct, yeah, I think it was early Saturday morning, something like that. I saw early Sunday morning.
Yeah, I was going to say because I had checked my account. It was yesterday afternoon or something, and it wasn't like my account wasn't at all-time highs. So I was like, what the heck? And then I noticed that it was basically Bitcoin. Like Solana didn't get back to that 250 yet, and Ripple, but I think it was pretty much a Bitcoin move higher. Right there, Dogecoin started to go. Yep. Did you ever average into that, or you're just holding that?
I'm just holding that.
Yeah. Okay.
Dude, I have a sub 10 penny entry.
Right, I know. Yeah, you have a great entry. I just didn't know because it got back down to like 13 or 14 again or something.
Yeah, I mean.
And okay,
I should maybe look into maybe, but I don't know.
No. Yeah, that's hey man, it's all good. I meant to ask you last week and forgot. So
that was just a buy and hold for me.
Yeah. I think you know what? I think that's the thing about crypto. I mean, we continue to talk positively about it. I mean, we've always, I feel like, been really positive about, the future look of Bitcoin, right? And I think that, to your point about holding it, I think that's what's a lot of what the creation here has happened is we get this dip down and then we realize that it held these levels and people bought instead of sold. And I mean, when that wound up happening, then yeah, you did have this upside move and coil that with the government shutdown, which right now, I haven't looked at the Kalshi market yet, but it's right here. So let's do it now. Yeah, wow, okay, I wish I didn't. 21 days
20 days now
is what we're going at. We started this, we had that fun little, this was a few days ago because when it first started, it was at 10, remember? And we had that bet. It was about 11.2 days, and we had it on the chat. And it was almost 50-50 that people thought over under 10 days. Well, now you're at double that. And of course, I think we're in day, if you include the weekend, when did we shut down? Was it last Monday or so? I think maybe potentially, or Tuesday. So you're like in day 6 or 7, I would think right now of this. So, we've already, that's more like 14 days if you're going to take those days off. But yeah, it's not looking good, man. And not only that, the yes is a higher bet right now. So the odds are that it's 65%. This is how you kind of have to look at this. You got to bet 65 cents to get $1. So it's about 65% chance right there of this making a move higher through 21 days, right? So if they don't get anything settled today, then that yes is going to win, I guess, and it just keeps resetting. But yeah, what a move there for Bitcoin, which makes perfect sense in my opinion. I'm going to assume, and I'm going to throw it back to the desk because we got to go over our watch list. Oh, yeah. Make sure you do get the watch list. I do have one more little small promotion thing to tell you. So gold right there is up 1.25%. Look, these two. I mean, perfect pair, right? Match made in heaven. Okay, so got to hit the like button on that too. I got to refresh to see this. But you're just going to hit join right here. And this is the thing about it. Right now, you get this morning research note that is provided by the biggest guy here, Sharif, who's done much work on all of this. So you get all of this come right into your inbox. Right now, we know that we've had Nimrod and we've had a few other gifted memberships, but you can grab this, man, for pennies a day. You get the morning research note, and it's what Sharif goes over on the midday. We're going to be using that a lot more throughout the show as we go. So it's the in-depth detail there. They probably have a better PDF up there of it, but you know, it gives you the trade ideas in there, the key support levels, what this means for the stock, what it means for both sides of the story, and just different categories all broken down for you. So, you know, again, Sharif's not writing it word for word, but it's generated. It's AI helped us out with all of that. Sharif writes down the ideas. It spits them all out, man. The key levels are right there as well. So you can play off your charts with it. And like I said, man, it's $5-6 a month. That's crazy. That is just, it's a link, it's a PDF. So that price goes to help with the cost of it. So definitely, I mean, unless you lower your billing rate, I don't think we're making any money on anything like this around here right now. So we want to thank Obi for coming in again. For Neil, as we'll have a couple different hosts this week.
I didn't even know I was going to be on today. It just happenstance.
Yeah, lucky guy. That's what I'm saying, man. Lower this rate, man. We're giving you a little bit of luck. Maybe you're too cheap. That's why we keep on calling you. Maybe you got to up the rate.
All I know is it doesn't matter. Like, I'm price ignorant, but I will provide the liquidity.
Okay, so then, unfortunately, Obi, you are taking a price cut on your. But we're not downgrading you. Though. It's not a downgrade.
Hey man, I gotta at least battle inflation. It's gonna be 8% a year at least.
Okay, well, yeah. I mean, it's coming up. It's coming.
We talk about inflation. I'm telling you, it's costing me more money to buy the same stocks that I like.
Obi,
dude, AMD was 160 yesterday.
I don't know why
it's gonna cost me $2 bills to buy some today.
Yeah, but the other idea is if you just listened to me in the beginning, you'd be long everything anyway. And money wouldn't even be a problem. But at the end of the day, no one ever listens to me. Shout out to my wife. All right, let's go back over to the desk and see what the big guys are up to.
67.84, guys. That's where we closed out on Friday on the ES December contract. We already cleared that level, of course, I'm sure, as you can imagine, moving up almost into that 6,800 point area, obviously as a result of the AMD news and the AI tailwind. So 67.94 is the overnight high. So we're going to use 6,800, nice round number, Brendo, as resistance. If we sell off for whatever reason, we have the overnight low, 67.67 as support.
If you haven't done so yet, make sure you take a second. Grab the free watch list as well. Down in the description of this video, top link will get you to the sign up page. All you need is your email address, and then that comes right to your inbox as well. We're going to find a way to, in the future, maybe put out all of this into one basket for everyone. So in the meantime, grab that. It's free. Real quick, couple things. Chart on the right is Verizon. That's a weekly chart of Verizon. Former PayPal CEO Dan Schulman, not the Blue Jays play-by-play announcer, but former PayPal CEO Dan Schulman taking over Verizon as of about 20 minutes ago. Stock did absolutely nothing, never does. Friends over at Silo Pharma with this announcement this morning as well. SILO, this was a couple weeks ago. You remember we talked about this briefly. The latest to go down the Treasury laneway, I guess, for little small caps. Anyways, they picked up Research Hub's native token, which is was co-founded by Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong. So the company investing in DeSci blockchain innovation with the purchase of Research Hub, a decentralized science platform co-founded by Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong. So have a look at SILO, and we'll jump into everything else we need to talk about here this morning. I mean, there's a ton to really look at. We can go really anyway here this morning, I guess. AMD is top of mind, I guess, for most people at this point. This is all-time highs, which is 227.30. It's tough to see there on the weekly chart, but we're at 224 and change right now for AMD.
Yeah, we're knocking on the door of taking out all-time highs, Brendo. Feels like maybe by the end of the week, if not by the end of the day, that may happen. And here's why, guys. So OpenAI and AMD have inked a multi-year deal, which could give OpenAI about a 10% stake in the microchip maker AMD. The agreement includes a 6 gigawatts of AMD Instinct GPUs deployed across multiple generations of hardware. It's going to start out with a 1 gigawatt rollout in the second half, Brendo, of 2026. So we're not going to immediately see the products of this. In addition to the 10% ownership stake, AMD issued warrants for about 160 million shares. Vesting is going to be based on the deployment milestones as well as the share price performance. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. But the deal is worth billions. It positions AMD, obviously, as a core strategic supplier for OpenAI. Prior to this, we had already seen the agreement between OpenAI and NVIDIA. This helps OpenAI diversify its GPU game with AMD as a helping partner. The tie-up comes just 2 weeks after, of course, that $100 billion equity and supply pack with NVIDIA. And let's warn, though, the sector is facing systemic strain if any major player falters in the capital cycle, computer supply. We're talking about that circularity of the nature of the AI game with, for example, NVIDIA investing $100 billion into NVIDIA investing $100 billion in OpenAI, selling them the GPUs, which they take to buy the GPUs back from NVIDIA, as well as spend on Oracle. So if one of these many players in the circular system, Brendo, falters, it could have repercussions.
And this is what you and I were just talking about off camera there a little bit, from the standpoint of when does this become too much?
Exactly.
Of connect the dots and continue to connect the dots, or there's going to be a problem, guys.
Yeah, no, AMD absolutely crazy, man. I'm just I saw the deal show up like with the news on my phone on the way in this morning, and I was like, oh my god, I knew right away that AMD is probably blasting, and NVIDIA is probably taking a little bit of a breather as well. And oh boy, that's when I came in and I was like, yo, Sharif, you seen AMD 200s. And then since then, we've projected a little bit higher as well, 225.36 is current highs. So let's just go define some levels for today. Again, one of the top ideas I would say on my list. I did already kind of dabble in a little bit of the shorts, not really working, holding and sustaining really well. So some tape information that I want to point out, because I was sitting here and watching this since around this consolidation. There was a 203 half ARCA buyer that would not let go and kind of step this thing up a little bit. We got that breakout, then 222s right now, while we were talking, 222s reserve like crazy, and then Buddy steps up on the 223. So Buddy. But basically what I'm saying is that the buying sentiment is definitely there. We're seeing aggressive buyers on the tape, and we're seeing price action hold with decent volume as well. So with that, let's just go back to a higher time frame. Weekly, the 227s are all-time highs here. So 227.30s, we're just pretty much right there. So yeah, are we poised to push a little bit higher? I think that's well within range. But here's the thing, 227.30s highs. Let's just define some pre-market levels in case we take a little bit of a pullback. So right away, I just want to point out some support and resistances right here. I already have my anchored VWAP set in here. So one from off of the event, and then one from this breakout. Look at this volume increase of the breakout of that high. I pinned one to there so we can see anybody and everybody who's chasing this long. We heard Michael Noss talk about people who like to chase the longs. I love that as well, but I want to watch where that average participant is sitting as well. So that's that anchored coming in. So that's the high right there, and then maybe take this little pullback, and there you go. We got some pre-market support and resistances here, 225s, 218s, 211s, and 196s all the way down here. So those are some of the prices I'll be watching. Maybe we push that 227 today, and finally we get that 230. So I'm going to probably change the name today from, I've said this a couple times already, from Advanced Money Destroyer,
we need a new one, not
to Advanced Money.
No, we need
not
new
Duplicator?
No, because you already used Duplicator. We've used Duplicator and Destroyer, so I want to get an OB original.
All right.
I want to get an OB, so I want to task you to that right now. So just quickly, I agree with everything OB was saying. Just let's not forget about some of these other names, man. Taiwan Semi just continues to produce all these chips. Their hands are in all of this right now, and there it goes. TSM today up, breaking through 300 bucks. So a big time look here for TSM. I mean, unbelievable rally in this name. Year to date, I don't even really want to talk about what this is, but this is $104 on January the 1st. So you're triple. I wish I had gotten this one, Sharif, to be honest with you. But right there, $100 up to $300 right now. A triple this year alone for TSM. So let's giddy up on that one. And then, yeah, for me on AMD, look, it's on the sticky note right now. It's now out. I just said wait for a blow off top, basically. That all-time high, as the boys keep saying, in and around that 227.30 marker. I think that probably gets hit and maybe gets taken out. And then I was saying it, and we got a perfect super chat right now, so I do want to thank Ryan for this one. $50. I'll give you my opinion right now. He's just saying that these new AMD chips are are faster and cheaper than NVIDIA. I don't know about that faster part, but maybe. I don't know the specs. If AMD have 25%, don't worry about this all if and all that stuff. It's just, this is the key thing right here. On Friday, you bought 25 calls, $75 strike. What? For AMD? $75 strike? Okay, well, that's going way up there. For $250, $175 strike. You must have said, must have meant, obviously. Expired for $250 per option. Sean and Joe. Joe's just coming back now, so he's going to take this question when he sees it in the chat. It's a big super chat, Joe, about options. So right there, how much would you take off market open? So I would just say if you have 25 calls and you're that much in the money, for me, again, and we're at highs right now. So to say to take it off immediately off the open, I would take off like 5 contracts, like, get that 20% out, watch to see what winds up. That 5 contracts right there will get out your cost basis, I would imagine, at least. Then you're rolling 20 for free. Your expiry is not till the 17th of October. So, I mean, if the story sticks and the market likes it, this could be 250 at least by the time those options expire. So for me, I always like taking some out, and we talk about that all the time. I got excited and real horned up.
227s. This is all-time highs. We are 30 pennies away from all-time highs right now. And here we go. There we go. All-time highs, 34s. We just printed.
But I think the thing is that you, just like me and you had talked about, you had taken some shots short.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering that if there's a bigger trader than us, like a mutual hedge fund or some sort of a sell side wants to wind up taking this short, it could push it down a couple bucks. So I was going to say, like, Ryan, depending on how price sensitive you are, I think you're going to have a monster winner for a while here. But I could see it. Like, there it goes. It rings top side, and now it's down $2. So we just went up and down $2 in 5 to 10 seconds there. So I would, just be really weary. And Joe's answering your question, I believe, as we speak. So let's go back over the desk. Thank you again for all the super chats. We're getting a little bit low on time here, but Bitcoin, Tesla, NVIDIA, and UiPath, all big stories today. Let's go get number 2 of 5 with Bitcoin.
So Sharif wasn't wrong. We did get to 125 on Bitcoin. It just happened to be on Joe's birthday, not on your birthday.
But remember, I need the mathematical odds of what are the odds of that happening. We make an exact price. We say on the exact date, and it ended up hitting 125 on his birthday. I need to know the odds. Mathematicians in the chat, I need to find out what this is crazy. Should we talk about this?
You weren't wrong.
No, I wasn't wrong. I was off by 6 months, but yeah. So leading cryptocurrencies, guys, rallied in October, of course, with BTC leading the way, climbing above 125,000. Yes, that is a new all-time high. With the total crypto market capitalization now coming, guys, a little bit more than 4.2 trillion. Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume hit 76 billion, the highest it's been in month, and BTC continues to dominate the inflows, 58.5%, signaling concentrated capital inflows. Also, short liquidations were an issue as well. $427 million over the past day. In the last 24 hours, the crypto fear and greed index, Brendo, is now showing greedy, with analysts from Crypto Quant expecting a continued push higher with potential, I should say, consolidation above 125,000 before the next move on. And the open chain data shows the open interest jumped about 2.5%. in the last 24 hours, which is really kind of indicating that leveraged buildup.
If you miss it back on Friday, even Forever Bear, Jeremy Diamond over at JP Morgan saying 165 now possible as well.
I mean,
yeah, no,
all these jokers are now long finally, you know, I mean, that's the whole point about it, right? So, yeah, we were both talking a little bit about crypto there, when we came in, and just what a nice move that was. And I'm, you know, it's on my note today to buy more of it. So hopefully, we had some great calls on Ethereum last week and on iBit live on the show. I know Joe trades either one of those as well as we go. I should have really wrote down. This is not today's note. Oh, yes, it is. There it is right there, iBit. So $70. You know, he hit his all-time high just as we thought it would. You know, we kept talking about it on Thursday, Friday, that over the weekend we could do that. Now we have to wait to see what it does around that 125. Any pullbacks, we buy this name. So I don't, it's now gone. Like, Bitcoin has solidified, in my opinion, with its 6 or 7 straight days right now to the upside. It is a government shutdown play. There's really nothing rallying this right now. I mean, this is what I said. You're always waiting for catalysts, either direction. With the Nasdaq going to print close to highs, Dow print, I mean, everything's at close to highs right now, so what a surprise, iBit. We were talking, I mean, during this dip, even when we were right here, it was always that iBit needed to catch up. The market and Bitcoin were separated. And now, you know, they're much more aligned. And again, I still think it is a sell the top at some point. And if you got some money in right now, I wouldn't take it out. As Michael said, every market eventually comes to a top. And I think that once you get the government settlement here, or once we go back to work, I don't want to call it a settlement, but once, I guess sort of is, once they get the budget figured out, this will probably pull back, you know, and that, in my opinion, it just becomes another buying opportunity. I mean, this 50 period's pretty great. Back into here. I just don't know what collapses this thing, to be honest with you. Now you get JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, you know, speaking positively about it. That guy's very, very conservative. Obviously running the world's largest bank, you can't be super aggressive, especially with something like Bitcoin. You are going to upset your peers and things like that, because he was against crypto for a while. But I know they were developing some sort of a JP Morgan tolerance to it, and even building up their own kind of base there on the blockchain and offering different products. I mean, we've seen what Robinhood's talked about, tokenization, and I think a lot of these other companies will continue to use the blockchain. Bitcoin's just one of the, you know, number one sort of talk about ideas, right? You're going to be building on Ethereum, you're going to be building on Solana, on Cardano and all that, but I think Bitcoin has solidified its home as, and I hate to say it, and I'm going to get people that are hating on this, but like digital gold, you know, like I think that there's something there. So let's just wait to see if gold continues higher, Bitcoin continues higher. Gold didn't even have any dips. I like both of these ideas, and my play for iBit, I'm already bidding $70.50. That's not going to come in, I wouldn't think, but if it does, I'm there. 70.40 is a 200 period. We really like that one. And then I just was sort of put down $70 as a pull back in, if that does happen. But of course, we're writing those notes early, and it's gone 50 cents the other way instead of 50 cents this way. So I still like iBit down there. I think patience is going to be key. But yeah, Bitcoin's along. Just a matter of what price you take that leap.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that that sentiment. We can see how it's been stepping up, right? I think I was talking to Joe about this last week, and I was like, yeah, probably over the weekend. And I messaged him over the weekend. I was like, yeah, see, 125s. That was a great push there. 125. 750s, nice clean top there, and we're kind of grinding up as well. You can see this trend, this multi-day trend. This is what Sean was talking about, multiple days of a bid, and you can see how clean it's been and breaking out of a little bit of a base. So bigger picture continuation on Bitcoin. We did finally get past those prior highs at 124,533s, and yeah, I'm looking for that continuation. A lot of buying pressure across the board in this market, right? And I think let's see if the response is done yet. So what I just asked GPT, I was like, how has BTC performed in past government shutdowns, right? So I'm like, oh, all right, so the one in October 2013, it was up 10%. January 2018, it was down 6% roughly. And then December 2019, it was down about 10%. So it seems like it's kind of, it just maybe just does its own thing. Those are only three data points.
2018. I mean, the thing is,
up 10%, down 10%. Down 6%-ish, but it seems like this time around we're going to get a bit of a rally. So
I was going to say, looking at Bitcoin back 6-7 years ago, I think
different beast.
Yeah,
like you said, there's different participants that are involved now, so it's going to act maybe a little bit differently as well, right? It's like people that actually have deeper pockets may be able to defend some levels.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I mean, back then we were talking about Bitcoin at like 15,000, 10,000, 5,000. You know, so that's just one. You know. Oh no, I shouldn't do that. Oh, my stupid kids. But anyways, as we go, yeah, I really like Bitcoin here. And by the way, AMD, as we were talking, just took out another level there. Just took out 227.50, bounced off 228. So we are hovering right now near highs once again for advanced micro devices. Thank you, Ryan, for the nice super chat. I know Joe's been in that as well. So you know,
huge offer. On AMD, right?
Yeah, I was just watching. I didn't see the actual number there, but honestly,
224 lots.
Okay, but with 40 million shares, like I love what Obi's saying there, but I don't think the size is going to be too much of a factor here. But we are waiting for that level. If someone starts chasing this down, I think that's something that we can play off of until it's gone. So I think that would be there it is. So there's somebody else showing up right now, marking this down just a little bit. So here we go. You know, there is a little bit of a move coming. The size keeps showing up and then it just gets wiped out. Like it's gone already. So that was a nice little 30-cent retracement there through 226, but didn't last. There it is right there, but didn't last long. Like someone can eat that there. It's gone.
Oh yeah.
Like that 30,000.
He got taken out. Yeah, he got taken out right away. Yeah.
No size on the level, Obi, honestly, for me is going to matter. But at the end of the day, we'll continue to look stronger at this name. All right, Tesla, another name that's on my watch.
Yeah, let's go to Tesla here. Still higher on the morning, although we are starting to roll over a little bit. You kicked off the show talking about this a little bit. Is this finally the tease of the smaller, cheaper version?
Breno, he said we were supposed to mass produce it in the second half of 2025. We only have a few months left. Let's at least see what this thing looks like. So that's why I'm a little biased that we may get that mass market EV, whatever you want to call it, the Model 2, Model Q, whatever it's being called these days. But anyway, Tesla posted two short teaser videos on X showing mechanical parts and an illuminated headlights with the date 10/7, fueling, of course, anticipation of a product reveal tomorrow. That's 10/7. The vague nature of the clips has prompted two main theories, as I mentioned: possible unveiling of that long-delayed next-gen Roadster, shout out to Marques Brownlee, and that mass market EV. Just to give you some information on the Roadster, this thing's flying around in space. He did launch it on the Super Heavy. The old version of the Roadster was first teased back in 2017. It's faced years and years of delays with limited short-term financial impact, obviously, for this kind of car. I know it's going to cost like over $200,000. I don't anticipate them selling any number of these per year.
Just real quick on NVIDIA, just seeing OpenAI has just said we plan to increase our NVIDIA purchasing over time as well. So on the heels of this AMD note, we were going to get to NVIDIA next anyway. You can have a look at NVIDIA, Intel, some of the other semis downside initially on the AMD announcement this morning. But again, OpenAI just saying we plan to increase our NVIDIA purchasing over time as well.
I mean, I have both these. I mean, both these names are two top ideas for me today. I mean, literally the two top ones. Everything we wrote down on this board is what's there. NVIDIA, IBIT, Tesla. So I'm looking for Tesla breaking 445, and I'm looking for this NVIDIA long at 184. So, I mean, it's kind of like dealer's choice. I actually started looking at the Qs as well right now because I'm excited for the Nasdaq in general today, obviously. But, yeah, I was just thinking we're nowhere near this 445. We're near it, but we're not, like, you know, knocking on it yet. But if you just look at this, sort of and again, I can't get rid of this bar, which kind of sucks. But we talked about this level on Friday, and we missed that short right there at 445. So, whoopsies, wrong line. Why did it go that way? Nobody knows. There it is right there. So it's this line going this way. And just it looked like it was a top. It was a top. We've got some tops there. And then on Friday, we talked about this. It opened up and bounced around 445 to 446. And then just you know, ho-hum went down $30. So now you're all the way back up. And I mean, what a great opportunity that might have been to buy that at 415. You want to talk about options and things like that. Grabbing that near the end of, or the middle of the day would have paid you by the end. And now today, you're getting that boon higher. Look, we didn't like the story on Friday as it came into some key levels there. I like the story for the pop today. Releasing a new product there tomorrow. I mean, it's tomorrow. So we don't have much more time left to get long Tesla. I mean, if it is that new car, potentially the Roadster, potentially the Model 2 or something small, potentially Robo-Taxi, who knows what's going on. Maybe it's a new power system or something. They showed the lights there. I don't know, but I just know that this is a big-time cult stock. And if it wants to get bought up, man, there is no stopping this thing. You saw it get sold off. There was no stopping the sell-off either. So I already have the order to go long, breaking through 445. So as long as that happens, I'm here for it. So that's the trade for me. Let's see if it winds up breaking 445. I have the trigger in to take it, and if it goes, then we'll see if we can hold it. And we'll probably give it $3 or $4 just to give it some room. But yeah, I really like Tesla here today, and I love AMD on those dip buys as well. Or sorry, AMD, yes, but NVIDIA I like at 184. So I don't know, any thoughts on that one? Only a minute and a half now.
Yeah, I think I like what Tesla's doing for a potential continuation. We kind of defined some levels last week, and you can see here buyers kind of stepping in at that 416, 420 level multiple times over again. So when I opened this up, and I already had lines in there from before, so holding above those levels, holding the range low as support. So yeah, let's see if we can get past prior day's highs. That's coming in at 446s, 447s, and with the market tailwind that we're getting right now, I think that's well within range. So Tesla, very valid there. Let's see if we can revert some of the selling that we got for the past 2 days on Tesla.
All right, let's go talk about UiPath.
As we go here, let's get through Path real quick. If you remember, I zoomed out here. Going back to last Tuesday, had a huge pop on a whole bunch of deals and partnerships they announced, including OpenAI, Google, Snowflake, NVIDIA, and Microsoft, just to name a few. Seems to be a little bit of follow through here. This morning, there's not much new.
Yeah, it's a connector tool, links OpenAI's models with UiPath's automation suite. Brendel, keep an eye on it. Nice mover here in the pre-market.
Yeah, decent volume behind this too, guys. So another one to watch out for Path today.
It really slipped under the radar for me. I mean, I don't, again, a big name, and there's a lot of traders that are all over this stuff. So there it is, man, 12% right now again for UiPath, continues to move higher here. The Nasdaq right now continues to pump. It's up 1%. I don't want to fade this name, not in this environment. I mean, you are coming up to a UiPath level here at $14 to $15. So I would say watch out for that. But we only have less than a minute left. We just got we just got another super chat, daytrader.LA. Yeah, I would think for AMD, and I know that's going to be on everybody's mind. I don't think you do anything right off the open. Your question is, do you go long or short on the open? I don't. I would say long, if anything, off the open, because I do think there's going to be some exuberance here, and this thing does pop through. But I'm actually looking for a bigger trade to be short. We've had a hard time right now with 228s, so let's see if we crack that. Now we only have 10 seconds left, so there it is, your opening bell. See? It didn't go. Oh, there it goes. All right, so that opening bell is late on this. We have to brought to you by VinFast, ticker VFS. We are now open in 3, 2, 1. Go check out VinFast right now. Now we are now open. So here we go, man. There goes Tesla, 442. There goes AMD already pushing downside a little bit, 224 and change. Here comes the flush. We talked about a potential flush in the name. I didn't think it would happen right away, so I do think there's going to be some pickup to this right there. But here we go for AMD. You never know what's going to happen there, but now it's 223 and looking to go lower right now, Advanced Micro Devices. If you're going to pick something up, I always say when there's a gap, wait for VWAP, but that 214 didn't seem realistic to me in the first place, but now it looks like it is coming down, Obi, and of course you tried the short a couple times there in the middle of the pre-market and it didn't work out, but now it looks like it's coming in as the market is developing itself. So Tesla also a nice move down, and then the whole market now pushing, which may give me an opportunity. It doesn't look like it, but IBIT right now, I am bidding IBIT just like this might hit first, $70.50, which is right where the 200 period is. Let's see if that can come in. And here goes AMD, just broke through 222. Looks like it's coming into 220 right now, Obi. So is this the move, the bounce off 220 potentially?
Yeah, I'm just, I think I'm staring this down here. The short, I was looking for the short a little too prematurely, but the false break of all-time highs in the pre-market seems like that was the area to get in. But a little bit of selling coming in. Triple twos, don't forget, triple twos is, we saw like a strong reserve bid on top of triple twos in the pre-market. We're just trading below them. So I'm observing 220s, 222s, and then there was that guy at 223 halves as well. So we've broken through some of those prior bidders, recent bidders there. 220s incoming here.
I'm gonna try the short.
That's probably gonna crack as well. Yeah, 220s is an interesting area.
Yeah, I went short here. I mean, let's take something out here. We'll take 50 cents quickly. We'll put another bid a little bit lower to see if we can get that. But remember, like this is a trade that we now have on. We just took it out a little bit more. We only got out of about 15% down there below. We're only short here at 219.88. We just got two fills right there, one at 30s, one at 40s, and here we go. Let's take something at O's to make that first little dollar club winner right there. So there it is, man. We got it. Now it's really starting to go, man. So now we've got hell of a trade on. No. no celebration. But we're really happy with that one right there now. $2+ on this trade as we continue to go lower. So Obi, we'll just sit here. We'll let our trading talk for itself again here today, but it's a nice little downside play for us here. Now $2. Obi, can we hear $3? Potentially we can. There's a nice
anchored
breakdown.
VWAP at 216, Sean.
Appreciate
and that's
that,
headed
man.
straight
Appreciate
for
that. There it is.
Let's
Daily
see. That's
goal.
the average participant is sitting at, since the news, 216.46. We're only about $1 away from there. So aggressive selling right into the anchored VWAP. Let's see if it actually holds, right? That's where is current VWAP as well. Current VWAP's around 216 as well. So currently maybe some buying coming in there, but you can
It is
see the
nice to
market
have
as
wins
well.
to celebrate, though. You know, I mean, shout out to Santander Jeet in the chat there, man. We love all that. There goes AMD to the downside. Okay, so we're just gonna hold this, man. It's now $3, but no celebrazione. Okay, we do have Tesla right now. It looks like it's gonna celebrate a nice little bid through right now. I like the 445. Let's see what the hell's going on with Big Bear AI as well. Big Bear AI is Moon City right now. All right, now we are long into Tesla. Can we throw all of our AMD is now $5 in the money right now, and still like just murdering stock. The long right now. There it goes. Sorry, $4 in the money as we just bounced off of 215. I got to take another piece out. Oh boy, we also have $1 right now on Tesla. What world are we even living in right now, Obi? We're $7 in the money. We have 2 trades. Both trades brought to you by yours truly right here. AMD short on here. Tesla long. Too much celebration. Let's go, Obi. What do you got going on over there? It's a nice little dollar winner.
I'm looking at that anchored. So we're chopping a lot in and around this anchored. So you know what? I like the idea of progression a little bit lower, but I do want to participate a little bit with the first bid that I see coming in because of the aggressive nature of the selling that we've had straight off of the open. Let's see if we can kind of consolidate here in and around that anchored VWAP. Again, holding that 216 as of right now, but that could be like, you know, this is anchored VWAP, right? I think I heard somebody or I saw someone in the chat say, oh, what is Obi talking about? Just it's a VWAP, volume weighted average price, that you can anchor to an event. So the event was the pre-market news. So if you anchor an anchored VWAP to there, then you can see that that's coming in and around 216. This current day VWAP is also in and around 216. So basically, what does that mean? That means that the average participant since that moment in time is sitting in and around that price, both long and short. That's what that means. So it can give you a little bit of a perspective. I like to use it for perspective and reversions as well. If we're going to consolidate here a little bit, I'm willing to give it some room and see if it actually holds in and around here. Let's see if there's any sort of defense. We saw strong buyers in the pre-market, so the question becomes, if the buyers are willing to defend some of those crazy prices in the pre-market, then does the average participant also take on some defense as well? So 216 is holding right now, and let's see if we can push back up into 220s. Opening prices were 217.5. So okay. Interesting.
Yeah, good one there.
217 halves on this current bar. No, open price of the day was at 226 halves. So
I really like. Yeah, I really like that long down there. That was a great spot, and I'm glad we were able to cover a little bit of there as well. AMD shares are hitting right now 1-year highs, and there came. I mean, perfect. I know you just anchored VWAP that, but that was really just VWAP anyway.
Yeah, it was VWAP.
Down there at 215 and change. So a bunch of outs there, a bunch of outs when we got back going. We're just going to let this settle down. Right now on AMD, I only have 20% left, and it's actually the exact same number left here in Tesla. But Tesla had a good move and then the fade, right? So I'm going to wait to see what this one actually does at VWAP with our 20% left here on TSLA. So it is coming back in against us just a slight little bit here. So we're going to have to calm down and just give it that second. And, you know, again, thank you everybody for joining us one more time today. It's been quite the open, and we're only 5 minutes in. You know, hit the like, hit the subscribe and everything. Obi filling in once again here for Neil. So we want to thank Obi for that one. We already have 800. I got to put this to live. We already have 820 likes right now. So please hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and join us right now. Over 1,000 likes in the first 6 minutes. We like that one. We like it a lot. But here comes Tesla right now. So I'm going to try it at VWAP here just to give it a little bit to see if it wants to go. But it did blow off that top at 445. We had seen this happen before. We don't want to get too carried away with this kind of a play right now. So now we're back into here. 441 is your a decent area. I'm going to try to drop this. Honestly, if we break down below 440s. So again, it looks like to me, anyways, a failed break, right? right, of 445. It's a good thing we took out some money there. We're still positive on Tesla, even if I were to get out right now, but it is dropping down, and it's a great trade over there on AMD.
That size on 220.
We busted this both
right
ways.
Through, buddy, right there. Oh, yeah, my God.
Good hold there as the market tries to get going again. So we didn't see Adair yet today. So let's go over and figure out what Adair is up to right now on the big desk.
Biosciences SPRB. This one halted initially. Right now, looks like it is potentially halted again, but making a bit of a push to the upside off the open, receiving breakthrough or saying that the FDA has granted one of their treatments breakthrough therapy designation. So good look here for SPRB. Also, META is going to be on watch. This one sharply to the downside. Started this move pre-market, continuing this move during the day. I don't have any clear news or clear catalyst for this push to the downside, but Meta incredibly weak this morning. Back to you.
All right, yeah. I mean, a tale of different stories here. I think Meta weakness would probably be because there's a lot of money floating into some of these names right here. I wonder what Microsoft's doing based on this OpenAI talk, right? I mean, Microsoft, one of the early investors. Okay, so it is starting to go back up to the upside there in OpenAI. Almost keep saying C3AI right there, but this is that break that we had looked at as well for Microsoft, trying to break above 520. So it looks like that might be happening today as well. There was a downside play in Microsoft last week. They upped their prices of the Game Pass and whatnot, and that name did get hit to said downside last week. So, oh boy, it'll be a nice little $3-4 winner over there. I'm glad to see that.
Yeah.
And
kind of turning this 220 right now. So.
Yeah. So I'm not averaging back into this, but we do still have 20% of this trade back in. So as it falls back in a little bit here, I heard you just got out of that one. So Congratulations. That sounded like a great trade again. Yeah. Always nice to be.
This is the thing, man. Like it's like I like the you know what I'm starting to realize, because I like reversions when things get really directional. For example, the AMD selling. I'm just like, I really like. I love the short. I love the short. I love pushing into it, and it's at the same time. I'm like, if I just wait just a couple of seconds, because it is overextended, it's coming in, and I'm like, okay, well, that's a very high probability breakdown through the 220. But if it's going to hold that 216 area, I think there's a decent high probability reversion, just a little bit of a breather. I'm not expecting it to push all the way back to 228s, 227s. But again, we were talking about this last week, just going with the flow. Like, what do you see? What are you seeing? And we saw Sean do that as well. Yeah, exactly. Going with the flow, getting short. You saw them hating the bid aggressively. We saw 220 coming in, and you saw Sean, boom, right through the 220. This is just like, getting with the flow when things are getting aggressive is the way I like it. Palantir, I'm getting an alert right now. So Palantir, again, we defined some levels in the pre-market, remember, on AMD. Look at the confluence that came in on that 218 hold as well, right? A little bit of confluence, the VWAP hold plus a pre-market support hold. I like that. Maybe this holds and reclaims 220s as well, right?
You want to talk about a picture perfect?
Boom.
I mean, look at Tesla right here.
Nice.
It's not, again, we can't, when we talk about winners, we know how that sounds. But this right here, 440, that's VWAP. We came into VWAP, it held these levels. So boom goes the dynamite. We now just continue to clock out here on TSLA on big shares. So couldn't be happier with that movement. And then we got a gift as well, Obi. Just when you stopped out, which was perfect, or punched out on a great trade there, it did fade back and gave us many more opportunities to get out of AMD. So just listening to what you're saying, like fighting trends and all this kind of stuff, we don't want to be doing too much of that. So we will start to punch out a little bit of this AMD here again as we get some 219.30s there, back end up right there. And then here comes Tesla trying to take down 245 again. We're long at 241. We hit 245 early, then we got long again near this bottom. So we'll get out another spot right here at 445. The SOX L right now, the semiconductor index, now at all-time highs. We can look at SMH here as that continues to climb higher. 347, oh boy, on these ones, Obi. AMD falling like a knife right now, which is pretty good. Back into 219s, but no, it's not. It actually battled back there. Actually, didn't see that bump up there into 220.50s. Nice move. Let's see if we can get some more out on AMD around 217. I'm going to put a bid there and go over to Adara.
Keep an eye here in CRML. That is Critical Metals. This one is around $800 million market cap. It's rallied in the past. Roughly a 12% short float on this one. Sorry, 14.5. Anyways, this morning they announced they've entered a securities purchase agreement to raise $35 million in gross proceeds through a private investment in public equity transactions. So securities purchase agreement here for CRML, 14% short float. Again, guys, I want to remind you, no economic data coming through to worry about there at 9:45 a.m. or 10 a.m. Back to you.
They're breaking the bid. They're breaking the bid. Coming right back into anchored right here. 216s. Excuse me. We saw buyers initially at 216s. We tried to push through 220. It was there for a bit. Now we're coming back in. Sellers stepping in. So sellers are very, very dominant off of the open. And once again, they're dominant on this little bit of a pullback into 220. So 220 holding and pulling back as of right now on AMD. Where is the next level? Remember, again, we defined some levels in the pre-market session. The next support and resistance, 211s. That's not that far away, about $5 away. Let's see if we can push into this opening range low slash day low coming in at 215 halves right now. So that's only 50 pennies away. And with both the ES and the Nasdaq looking like they're going to be pushing a little bit lower for the rest of the 2 minutes that are left in this 15-minute candle, I'm looking for that low day to break. And there it is coming in right now, 215 halves. Let's see if that holds. 211s might be the next place to look. But oh boy, is a short still on here on AMD, $220. Failure to follow through. Absolutely beautiful. They're pulling back into the 210s. Good Lord. Oh boy.
Yeah.
This market is absolutely crazy, man. So grateful.
Yeah, exactly. There's the AMD short, man. Possible pullback. I mean, it's exactly what we talked about. And then there's the NVIDIA long, or sorry, the Tesla long. Let's go look at some other names. I mean, we are just absolutely pumping right now, man. This NVIDIA, this AMD trade is now $6 in the money. I'm going to put another bid right here at 213. No, actually, I'm not. Let's just see how far this one wants to go down, man. The 200 period right now on this chart is 207. I'm going to put like a bid at like 20. Let's just go to 210. Right, 210, I mean, we could bounce off 210. Let's go to 210.50 right now on that one. And let's just get at another piece here of Tesla if we can at 80s. That's me offering 80s. There we go, we just get taken out. We're at our day's high for myself, obviously, right now. So we'll just continue to watch this out, man. $5. We might bounce right here off AMD. Let's take a piece out at 215. Okay, so there we go. We'll take another piece out at 215. Now we'll wait for 210, see if we do get that to the downside right now. But it's 944, 2 for 2 on monster trades, and we're pretty happy on all that. The stock that's halted right now, SRPB. Thank you for you guys in the chat. I do want to go over is that right?
Yeah, Spruce Biosciences.
SPRB. Oh, SPRB. I was going to say because it didn't show up there. Oh, this is a pink sheet? Name?
No. It's on the Nasdaq.
Okay, so we don't have this right. Okay, so SPRB.NQ. This might not be. All right, there it is. Okay, so it is halted on our system as well. This must be a relatively new name, right?
Yeah, I think. I mean, the boys were talking about it this morning. Someone just unblocked it for us this morning.
Oh, okay.
But I don't think it's a fresh IPO.
All right, so there it is, man. SPRB. The current tap right now, $43. So congratulations to anybody that's in this name right now. Closes out at 39. Now at 43. Was that a call for Adara, by the way? Then let's go.
Yeah, keep an eye on Robinhood here. HOOD super weak this morning. I think one potential thing to note here for this is Down Detector is saying that users are reporting problems with Robinhood. So Robinhood apparently inaccessible or hard to use for some users. HOOD to the downside here. Also worth noting, we're starting to see some of these analyst notes on AMD after that OpenAI deal. Barclays raising their price target for AMD from $200 to $300 after the deal. Back to you.
Okay. Yeah, so just looking there, let's just check out some of its other stocks similar to this stock. But Robinhood Webull is a name there. That's down 1.3%. The difference between all of this is if Robinhood is down, I don't know if you can check Down Detector. I guess it's not a website, but I don't know if they do that for apps. But if there are some functionality problems with Robinhood, then I would buy this dip. You know, like those things get figured out. Like, you know, they have what you call it probably an IT department that's looking at whatever's down right now. And it does suck. But like, you know, it's not going to stop people from using the app. No one's pulling out money for anything like that. But yeah, if that's the reason, let's just let it settle down. Nice move down there. It's only down 0.42. The name that I really, let's go AMD, honestly, let's go. If SoFi comes down even further, I actually like SoFi. I'm going to get some more Tesla here at 443. I really like the lows for SoFi. If this can come back into 25 bucks, you're right at the 50-period moving average. You want to talk about a name that's got beat up over the last two weeks. Boom. So Bitcoin right now 124.5 and not doing a whole heck of a lot. So we do miss that 443.50 there on Tesla. We just tweeted this out. It was a big stock, but now we're underneath. We do want to make sure that I'll take another piece out right here if it goes back up, and then we'll try to wait for those 446s that we were sort of hoping for back on the end of this trade. But yeah, just 2 for 2 quickly right now, and it's really just Tesla that's bugging me a bit. I'm gonna, see, again, I could have just punched out. Now I just sit here and watch this thing bleed a little bit. It does suck for traders like Obi and I to even miss 20 or 30 cents sometimes, although you home gamers, maybe not as sensitive to those kind of prices, but we are, so I just missed that right there, so that sucks. So we were just, you know, a lot in the money, and now we're a little. We have a third left of our reload. But we're going to watch out for this at 440 Tesla, 440 break.
Yeah, I think great look there on Tesla, and a couple of bid snipes there too, Sean. So good stuff. I'm looking at Circle at the same time. I'm looking at I guess there was a lot of chatter on QUBT and some of the quantum names as well. So we'll just get to that in 1 second. But guys, I got something to tell you. The trade the pool. Sorry, 1 second.
Take your time.
Beta Pro by Global X. Exciting news for Canadian sophisticated traders. Beta Pro by Global X Canada has just launched 6 new triple leverage ETFs, offering 3 times bull and 3 times bear exposure to the S&P TSX 60, semiconductors, and US Treasuries. Even better, they're offering a special fee rebate, dropping management fees to just 65 basis points until December 31st of 2025. These ETFs also employ currency hedging to seek to neutralize US dollar exposure, providing performance that may more accurately reflect the underlying US equity indices. If you are a tactical sophisticated trader looking to amplify your performance, check out betapro.ca/3x daily to learn some more. All right, so we were going to look at some of these other names here. So Circle haven't borrowed shorts just yet, but we'll get on that soon enough. But I like the selling. We saw that last week. Absolutely beautiful reversion that came in, 100% reversion all the way from 156s to 145s. So that was nice. So I'm like, all right, if you're going to bid up that much and pull back in, are there going to be sellers in and around the same area? Guess what? I definitely missed out on that. Okay, even if you saw the gap up in the pre-market, you're like, all right, maybe, I don't know. The breakdown of some of these consolidation lows kind of came in pretty clearly, showing us more of the same. Sellers coming in from 156 or high, roughly mid 150s, all the way down to mid 140s here, where there was some decent support prior day on Circle. So full Circle move on Circle.
By the way, Obi.
Thank you very much. So yeah, I'm going to be patient. I don't want to necessarily take it all the way down here, but again, if sellers are going to show us dominance, thank you very much for that, Sean. I'm going to look for maybe VWAP or maybe some other levels where potentially we can get involved with this one. Wow, 213s coming in here on AMD, continuing to push a little bit lower. We talked about that. 211 was that pre-market area, man.
Yeah, let's just go. We reloaded. No, we reloaded actually a banger of a trade here on Tesla. I mean, Tesla, we just took a 440 long right there. I mean, I don't want to talk too much about it, but there it goes. Nice little move there on the 440. So we're just going to like hover around and see it. It's not looking great for Tesla. I think it does eventually break. So we were emptying the clip a little bit here on this trade, right? I don't, once it breaks 440, it could be, thank you, Randy, so much for that as we trade Tesla right here. We took the longs twice and it was a monster trades. But now we're fading out just a little bit as the market's pulling back quite a, here comes a 440 break. So we're getting out 339.50. If we break 339.50, we are gone. And then on this one too, on AMD news today, Randy, 220 down to 212 right now. So nice $8 winner on this one as well. So we can afford to lose a little bit here on Tesla, but we don't necessarily want to lose anything. Let's get some more outs here at 440.50. Thanks, Randy, for all that. We will look at Rivian in a couple minutes, but right now I got fish to fry right here. Hopefully it's not tilapia or anything like that, but there it goes. Some more outs on the way up there, Obi. I feel like this is going to break. So I'm out of hero mode right now as far as Tesla is concerned. I'm just trying to scalp helps them out. Top up the day a little bit. It's obviously it's been a good one. Right now $8 in the money on this advanced micro devices.
Great short there through the 220s, man. Yeah, definitely some fish to fry for sure. What's your favorite kind of fish?
Halibut.
Halibut?
Yeah, it's thick, steak. You can barbecue it up.
Yeah.
There's probably another one I have, but nothing. No hatred
like
for
cod.
that. Cod
is not bad.
Yeah, okay.
Halibut's great. Yeah, like fish and chips is usually halibut's the go-to for the fish.
Yeah,
and
that's
chips,
the expensive.
for sure.
Like that's like the ups.
It's nice, but I like the cod as well. But yeah, no, I was curious.
It's a little expensive halibut, but. You know,
211s there?
For paying.
211.70s is the low there on AMD. So we did come back down into this prior high there. Let's see if that prior high now does that resistance turn into support. That's the question I'm going to ask. Or is sellers going to continue to stay dominant here on AMD? We see again, this was structure, this was structure, this was structure. We've been breaking it back to back. So what's the likelihood of us holding this? I have no idea, but I'm gonna wait and see if buyers actually show up in and around these levels. Here's 211s right now. Maybe we look at a whole dollar and just call it a flat 210s.
I'm bidding 210
as well. So yeah, I like that. I like that look. Let's see if this potentially comes in. Again, resistance, strong resistance. This was the breakout level. This was where volume in the pre-market expanded and we got a strong push. And that was where I threw on that anchored as well. And we cracked through that anchored through the triple twos. Those buyers, again, at triple twos and 223s were pretty aggressive right off the open, kind of stepping it up. And once we get back below those, yeah, I think I do like the short through the 220. Let's wait for the next trade, man. A little bit of a bounce happening here right now. Let's see if that will potentially hold. Circle's kind of starting to bid up again after I started talking about it. It's good. Let's wait for that at VWAP. Another stock that we were definitely involved with pretty decently last week was Palantir. Let's see what Palantir is up to as of right now. Does this not have, okay, no, those are extended trading hours. So we got back up to some of these consolidation highs. So I really liked that's why I got that Palantir alert there. So it was chopping in and around this area. This was where selling came in pretty decently. Prior day, I was looking for more of the same, but if we're gonna gap up, kind of hold, sustain, and push back up, maybe we're poised for a bit of a reversion. And so far, off of this low, we've reverted more than about 50% of the move. So pretty decent stuff here. I'm gonna be watching this 181, this consolidation high here on Palantir as well. There's 210s on AMD. Oh boy, man, this thing is straight tank city to the downside.
Man.
Great short, man. I'm looking for the next trade.
You got 10 bucks in this short right here.
What you got?
Just 10 bucks in it. All right, so yeah, so first
10 bucks.
Just 10 bucks.
Man.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, but right here we've got Tesla. We dropped Tesla. And oh boy, that was a good one too, Obi. That broke through 440. We waited for 439.50s and then got out. So we'll go 2 for 2 on the ideas today. But there's 210 right now. I took a 212 because I was just like, what if we don't get into 210? But we did. So here it comes. Wow.
Wow.
The Bears are in on this one, Obi, and we're pretty happy about it. So there it comes in. I mean, I'm not happy for many traders. I mean, there was traders that even asked us what we should do about this trade. I mean, it's on my note. We talked about it. Shout out to Ryan Noel. I said right off the open, what you could do is take out 5 of those 25 contracts straight off the open, and you would have been able to do that in around 225. It did bounce around there. It was actually looked like it wanted to go, but then eventually it took down a key level. So we shorted that, and stupid saying, but the rest is history. Right there as we continue to go down. It's like yesterday we were on all these rides at Wonderland, and by the way, we took the family to Wonderland yesterday. It was a lot of fun. We talked about that Halloween haunt and whatnot. Here's me and my son right here. Yeah, Wonderland yesterday. This is the only reason. Oh, I'm wearing the same hat. I have lots of hats. Oh, I shaved. But yeah, I went to Canada's Wonderland yesterday, had an absolute bang up of a time there yesterday. And yeah, just a lot of love for, family life and doing things a little outside of everything. But what I kept saying,
so good.
It was amazing, right? And what I kept saying to the kids though was, good luck, like on before all the rides. And they're like, why are you telling us good luck? Like, we shouldn't need luck on these rides, right? I was just like, okay, it's probably somewhat of a valid point there with that. So, and then it was Halloween haunt, of course. And those of you that are theme park goers, I don't know if they do it in other spots, but here at Wonderland, they have have various zombies and whatnot walking around past like 6 or 7 o'clock. So my kids thought that was a lot
of jump scares that happened.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. They were in line for like, they basically left lines to go and like play around with these zombies because they're not like allowed to basically, like the zombies themselves, they can harass you. But they're not physically, but they're like right in your face, and they know when you're playing it up with them. So it's a lot of fun.
You know what I used to do because during high school Halloween hunt? Yeah. We used to try to scare those guys.
That's basically yes. So that's what.
That's basically what we used to do. So yeah, I was reverting before I knew what that was.
Right. You were reverting the mean there. Yeah, good for you, man. That's funny stuff there. But yeah, shout out to that. Yeah.
Good thing I'm
AMD is still going, man. Oh, you're long. Okay, my bad. On that one, but right now it's still going to the downside here, and we have that short. So.
Great short, man.
Yeah, thanks, Obi. But I feel bad now that you have the long, but...
Oh, I have absolutely nothing. I was like, I know I'm kind of going against the grain, so I'm going to give this a few points, and, you know, it's really nothing too insignificant, right?
We just took
or nothing significant is what I'm trying to say. Well, circle back at that VWAP here. Yeah, 208's holding right now, so we did crack through that 211 pretty aggressively. So, okay, all right, you know what? Seller's definitely in charge. I'm out of there. Let's wait. I'm just going to be more patient there. I'm looking for a potential place to take the reversion long, and that wasn't really the place. But yeah, beautiful breakdown here. Aggressive selling. We were talking about 35% up, man. 35% up. Overextension, yeah, definitely. My thing was I really liked the shorts in and around here in the pre-market. I just think that I wasn't giving it maybe enough room, that 227 highs. But I think the better place to get in, which I didn't really re-engage. I think the issue was not re-engaging when we kind of broke those all-time highs and then pulled back in, or maybe again here at that anchored VWAP. I just didn't feel too comfortable chasing it too far low. But on the bounce, that retest was pretty nice there on AMD. Okay, so a little bit of a bid, maybe potentially coming in here on these markets. How much time is left for this 15-minute candle to finish printing? It's only about a minute left, man. It is almost 10 o'clock. This market is absolutely crazy. We talk about the frothiness and the craziness that's been happening, and this is a great example of one of those things here. So 207 halves. I might just wait. Instead, because the price action, the tape is pretty aggressive. I might just wait for like a chart signal here instead of just staring at the tape for a potential reversion on AMD, because this thing is so aggressive. Sometimes it's not even worth kind of watching the tape because of how aggressive it is. Just watching a shorter time frame chart might be a little bit better.
I did my best, Eric Jackson here, and I just put out, yo, Drake. Like I even tweeted at him. Like, I'm not in front of his house or anything right now, but let's go, Drake. This BBA army is so strong. We're strong. We are strong. So shout out to Big Bear Army that's out there right now. Obviously, that's not going to get Drake's attention. Just funny because I thought we had Eric Jackson trying to get this guy involved with Open Door, and now let's try to get him involved. Obviously, it's not going to happen, but right there, $8. So there's another one. And I gave the 650. I mean, we got super chats last week, Obi, and all about Big Bear AI. I stamped the buy. I said only get 20%. 25% or something like that of initial position there for Big Bear AI, because it did fall into the 50 period moving average. And I'm not going to be that guy that sits there and misses a trade by 5, 10, 20 cents. Like, if you like the trade, take the trade. I mean, obviously swing trades and options, you're going to, things are going to matter exactly the prices you got and the amount of share size. But for such a small amount, I really like that for Big Bear AI. But remember, it just bounced off $8 again. So I know the Army's strong, and I know we talk like this, but at the end of the day, do what's good for you. Don't just hold on because you think everybody else is. Make sure that you guys are part of all of that. Did you hit that?
What's that?
Oh, that was your boy, Joe. What's up? Oh, AMD. AMD. Yeah, we're $13 in the money. Thanks, Joe, for that. But I guess maybe Joe's maybe got the long. I was wondering.
You got the long. You got that long. Nice, sick. I pushed that as well. 208s, right?
Yeah. When are we doing?
Let's go. I got 207.99s, bro.
Okay,
I mean, the buyers did come in a little bit. I did want to dabble, but nothing too crazy than before. But yeah, 210. Let's see if we can push that 210 area.
I love being
as of
here
right
with
now.
Traders, guys.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, this is what we're doing, man. We've got a couple killers here to the right and the left of me, Joe and Obi. So yeah, Joby. Let's go and over the desk with Adara.
Here's the market. This market gapping up quite nicely, but giving back some of that move immediately off the open, though we are trying to form a little bit of a base. Now, of course, the biggest chip story of the day by far is AMD. AMD gapped up over 30% and actually brushed right near all-time highs around $227 after announcing a deal with OpenAI. But to avoid going through this story over and over, we'll take a look at another chip with a bit of a catalyst on watch. NVIDIA, NVDA getting a slight price target increase here to $210 by Goldman Sachs. But this note isn't quite as bullish as that price target would maybe make it seem. They said there's some concerns about NVIDIA's circular revenue. So interesting look there for NVDA. You can read more about that one on our Trader TV Live watch list. Here's TSLA, Tesla on watch. This name got a little bit of a gap to the upside after Tesla teased. I posted a couple videos teasing some new announcements they might make as early as October 7th, Tuesday. People are speculating due to the 10.7 that was featured in some of the videos. So TSLA, maybe with a new vehicle, people are expecting it might either be the long-awaited Roadster or a more affordable model. PLTR, great push here to the upside to start the day. Really weak on Friday after an internal Army memo warned of some potential security flaws with Palantir and Andros software, but that has now been apparently called outdated and inaccurate, that report. Palantir responded to it on Friday afternoon. And Palantir also has a deal with the small cap here, ONMD. That one is going to be on watch. And yeah, tapping Palantir to help with their AI healthcare push. Before we send you back to the guys, we'll take a moment to thank our friends at Origenics, OGEN. Each year, 3.8 million concussions are reported in the U.S., but there's still no FDA-approved treatment. NYSE listed Origenics, OGEN is changing that with its first-in-class intranasal drug designed for rapid brain access. With the concussion treatment market projected to reach $8.9 billion by 2027, Origenics is uniquely positioned to lead the way. Learn more. Schedule a meeting today. Back to you.
Out of my short. I was just telling Obi, thanks, Adara. I was just telling Obi, like, I have a stop at 210.50 to get some out of AMD. But right now, I just want to get everybody involved with this because you got to hit the like and subscribe. We have over 538,000 subscribers right now. We have over... How many people is watching? Right now, over 10,000 watching. Let's go. Let's get those likes going just a little bit. We've got Obi in the building right now, putting on some trades. We've got two bangers with Tesla and AMD so far, and we do have to go through still this list right here, which is now completely updated. So we're going to go over all this. Everyone wants AMD. We found you some Big Bear AI. We talked about why Robinhood was down today, right? And it's actually battling back. And I was commenting, like, I think it's a battle back story there. If they do have some software issues, that will get figured out. That Spruce Power right there now up 300%. We'll take a look at that. Tesla, we've already been trading. SoFi, I really like SoFi on this dip down. I'm actually going to buy some more SoFi. I know Neil just bought some Amazon in and around these levels, so that's back in again. That's a good price. Open Door up 1.7, Meta to the downside, Fuel Cell, F Cell. There's Archer in Aviation right there, up 12. I know up to $12, up 5%. I know there was some talk there in ACHR, and then yeah, we talked about this earlier, man. SMR and Oklo and all these names really starting to kick it off as well. So good on you for putting up some of these names as they look pretty spicy right now. I'm still waiting for some action. I do want to go in and buy some SoFi though there today off in my own account. So I think we'll spend some money that we've lost that we've sold some of our Intel shares and whatnot and got some of that. And there goes Tesla again, really appreciating through 440 now 442 coming into play for Tesla as this market gets going. So all right, Obi, we'll you take care of some business and then we'll go back and we'll find out what your thoughts are about that AMD out.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys, so looking for a futures trading platform that actually delivers without hitting costs? With plus 500 futures, you get free live charts, transparent fees, low margins, and an unlimited demo so you can practice until you're ready to trade live. Open an account, start trading with as little as $100 with plus 500's powerful platform. You can access a wide range of futures markets: S&P 500, Nasdaq, Bitcoin, gas, Forex, metals, crypto, and more, all in one place. Plus, enjoy a welcome bonus of up to $200 in commission-free trading. Just scan the QR code on screen to apply for your account today. Join over 30 million users worldwide who have already chosen plus 500. Oh boy, this market's taking a little bit of a bid, but AMD is still kind of chopping and churning this 207, 208 area here as of right now. So I'm watching it close. The sellers have kind of slowed down a little bit for now. I was just telling Sean this. I was just like, I'm just going to stay as nimble and as light as possible, unless and until I see something that is that you know basically tells me to I feel very comfortable getting a lot more aggressive with the position now. So that's what I was saying earlier. And yeah, last week we kind of did that on Palantir, and I was like, I went over that trade, and I was like, I like that style as well. Staying light, staying nimble in the direction that you're looking for, and participating. And when you see it happen, when you see what you're looking for, how do you trade it? Just getting aggressive is what the plan is for me. So I haven't really seen anything too crazy just yet. I want to see some structure, right? I want to see this is just maybe just a tape turn as of right now. It could just be just the tape slowing down a little bit with the market catching somewhat of a bid over the past 30 minutes or so, roughly with about 7 minutes left to print on this 15-minute candle. There's a bit of a bid and a retest of 210s. Again, support turned into resistance. That didn't really happen. So let's see if this resistance stays resistance now as we were trading back below it. There were sellers there a little bit earlier, and we're chopping and churning in and around some of these levels. So 210 halves currently. So still kind of chopping. You can see that wiki action. So you know what? Let's go to a higher time frame. That's what I like to do to kind of clean it up a little bit. All right, so the 5-minute does look maybe a little bit better here. VWAP all the way at 215s. We did break prior bar high on the 5-minute here on this current candle with about 2 minutes left to print. So let's see if we take a little bit of a turn and a breather all the way up to 215s for a potential reversion, or sellers could be very strong in still here at that 211 mark as they're stepping in, right? So I have no idea. All of those different possibilities kind of running through my head, and then I'm just like, okay, if this happens, then I'm going to do this. If this happens, then I'm going to do that, and hopefully we make some good decisions here. So I don't know what you guys are trading, so make sure you post it up in the chat. I know there's a lot of things that are moving around today, along with some of the chip sectors. We talked about. Was it GM and Ford? Let's see how some of those are doing right now. GM, nothing too crazy, just sold off of the open, and Ford kind of sold off but reclaimed. So just trading sideways on both of those, so nothing crazy. Palantir with a bit of a bid, still holding some of those consolidation highs that we just talked about a few minutes ago. NVIDIA is doing absolutely nothing, just kind of chopping on top of 185. So 185 orbit is what NVIDIA is up to right now as the market tries to find a bit of a bid here. Here's the thing though, Sean, Nasdaq is trying to find a little bit of bid. It's holding up, NVIDIA being one of the top constituents, but the ES, oh boy, that's a bit stronger to the downside relative to the Nasdaq. So it seems like chips are holding up relatively well. Intel just kind of chopping around. It does have higher highs and higher lows today, but AMD is the one, man. AMD is the one. TSM with a bit of a bid. Micron had a bid, but that sold off pretty aggressively. And SMCI had a pretty strong bid as well, and that sold off off of the open as well. So those are the things that I'm watching when it comes to the chips. When it comes to the Mag 7. Nothing crazy as of right now. Amazon, oh boy, that thing's been selling off pretty nicely in the morning session. Apple with a bit of a reversion right now in the spider. We just talked about the spider. Here. Spider just kind of selling off as well. So NVIDIA, maybe that consolidation could be.
But now it's coming back. I mean, nah. So I was there. It just. Oops, that's still Tesla. As quick as NVIDIA came in, it just came out. So we have to hit a fail on that one. We were long in the 30s, right there. We started the trade at VWAP. Right there, we did get out of some more AMD there, by the way, because it did break that 210.50, and then it just broke south side. So as this market pulls back quite nicely right now, yeah, you're starting to see this. I was thinking now that we've broken underneath some of these levels, I just wonder if the short's going to continue to play. The reason why I went long is I thought maybe AMD was about to go. So we took another piece out right now. Now we have just like 2% left of our trade on AMD, but we took our best out is 208. We just took a 210.50. We told you we were taking that trade. So now the play is downside, it looks like, in the market, right? So I was actually going to look over there. And again, I want to thank everybody for watching, man. I mean, and also, I had just an Apple Watch SE, and I think I got too much water damage in it or something, swimming with it. So right now I'm looking to pick up on these Amazon Prime days. You just brought up Amazon.
Yeah.
I was looking to pick up the Ultra, Apple Watch Ultra. There's the, I don't want to buy the 3, that just was released. So if anyone has any experience there in the chat using an Apple Watch Ultra or anything to swim, let me know how good it was. Because I made
really good sensors.
I know, and I'm not worried too much. Yeah, so
like the biometrics are
I don't really
good on Apple
Watches. No, I don't really check too much of that, but just let me know if anybody in there, because I don't know if I should be paying up, because the Apple Prime Day is going to come through, so we'll wait to see what's offered on that for any kind of a discount. But I was thinking about either just getting the Apple Ultra, the normal one. They're reading kind of the same for swimming, but anyways. All right, so now that NVIDIA's dropped down below, I was sort of thinking about maybe even a short now on NVIDIA, but we're already now $12 in as this gets to the lows, AMD again. So maybe we'll just ride with AMD and see how that winds up playing out for us on the short instead of hitting the NVIDIA as well, although we just lost on NVIDIA. It's okay. Don't like losing on anything, but TQs, this is a great short too if we can get a 107. We initially wrote down 107 long, didn't we? Or what did we write down? No, we didn't write down. Oh, 107 was from Friday, key level there on the TQs. So that came into play again right there. So let's see if the Nasdaq has any love back to the upside. I still don't mind trying to find some NVIDIA love down there. Yeah, Mara, Riot, some of these other plays really starting to move higher here as crypto really takes shape now today, breaking through that 125 and looking like that's going to be a key level there. So Mara up 5%, Riot blockchain upside as well right now. So yeah, lots of stuff happening obviously in the space now as we look at more crypto opportunities. So yeah, get involved, man. If you can't already, up 8%. Maybe it's some sort of a pullback incoming, but yeah, I really like what the crypto space is giving us there today. There'll be a lot of names starting to go upside. Riot, Hut 8, Mara, Coinbase as well. All these names starting to blast on what is again great positive news out of the crypto space with Bitcoin reaching all-time highs once again.
Yeah, Bitcoin all-time highs is definitely interesting. We were waiting for that 125 for the longest time, right? Yeah, and we finally got it. And yeah, I'm curious to know what we do in and around these prices, in and around these areas as well. Should be interesting.
Look at AMD.
I think man, I'm staring down AMD pretty aggressively. Just the flurry. The tape is just a flurry right now. If I were to put a speed, I mean, it was much faster earlier. It's definitely slowed down a lot. Maybe it's more of like, I would say, relative to before, if the selling was like a 7, 8, maybe even an 8.5 in terms of aggressiveness and speed, relative to that, this is more like a 4 or 5, man. It's just, it's fast, but it's not as fast as it was before. That's what I'm saying. But again, it comes in increments, is what I'm saying. Sometimes it's really, really fast because there's just a lot of transactions going on, and then sometimes it just slows down a little bit there. And that ebb and flow of the speed of the tape, I like kind of observing that as well, and the relative difference as well, right? You can see that that's how sometimes I'm able to see like, okay, well, buyers stepping in or sellers stepping in. You can see that it'll be aggressive to one side, and then it'll start to slow down, and then it'll start ramping up the other way as well. So something to watch out for here. So current day low on AMD is 205.74. We got pretty low on this current candle. We got to 206.30s, and I was just like, oh boy, this is potentially coming in for its lows. But the market's looking relatively okay here in terms of a consolidation, in terms of maybe potentially a bid here. We can see the first green candle there on the ES now. So the first green candle since the open has been printed, and a nice little bottom wick as well. So let's see if we catch a little bit of a bid here on the spider, or does it pull back in? This is VWAP on the SPY, not the ES, but this is VWAP in and around the SPY. So something to watch out for if sellers are going to stay dominant. Maybe I think VWAP is a good place to observe and keep a close eye on as well. Again, we talk about measuring the average participant, and that's what VWAPs are good for. One of the few indicators that I really do like, not many indicators that I use. Volume's the number one. I like price action and stuff on the tape is like tape indicators as well. But moving averages, when it comes to moving averages, I would say a VWAP and just regular EMAs or SMAs or however you want to use them. I think those are great. Other than that, honestly, I don't really use too many indicators. Maybe ATR, but ATR is maybe a little bit different. It's not necessarily like a moving average, but it's average true range. How much does a stock move on average? That can give you a good indication of if something might be overextended or not, right? So those are basically all my indicators. I don't use anything else. Anchored VWAP I really, really like as well. So nothing too crazy. Got to keep it simple, man. That's what it is, right? Well, over time you learn that as simple, the simpler the better.
Yep.
The simpler the better. So it's just like support and resistance. I know you use a lot of support and resistances, and that's bread and butter, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just got to go with, like you were just mentioning there, like a little bit about what you're comfortable with, right? And I think if you are comfortable trading, different, like I'm putting some orders out right now based on some of those support and resistance levels. We did miss out on NVIDIA. I mean, that 185 could have been a level there for sure. So we're looking at that as a possible play here for NVDA. A name that's been really clocked lately has been DraftKings. And again, we talked about the prediction markets. There was a big South Park episode there that sort of rang true to some things that have been happening over there, as many kids and all that getting involved right now with Kalshi and just betting on everything. Not kids, but younger. The whole Robinhood crowd, sort of that generation now. And then yesterday, of course, in the NFL, another big day there, and you're looking for some upsets to happen if the favorites keep on winning. And yesterday we did get some upsets. Neil's not here, but the Bills lost to the Patriots last night, which was definitely not expected. Philly lost yesterday as well. So I think that as some of the non-favorites continue to work out there, maybe DraftKings can get back going, and that's had a little bit of a day there. And I just thought about it because we mentioned support and resistance. Well, you're coming into some levels here, 33, 34 for DKNG that I think can, be profitable there for some people if we take a shot right now on DraftKings. So just an alert to some DKNG love there as well. But what makes sense doesn't necessarily make dollars. So let's wait to see what winds up happening there. And then now we have Apple as well. We just talked about it, and I didn't get too much of a chance to check the chat there, but I really like Apple again as well. You talk about breaking all-time highs. You're coming up to another one right here on AAPL. So watch out to see if that all-time high break is eventually imminent now for Apple. So we're going to wait to see if that winds up happening, breaking through 260 there. It looks like a good little downside take there for AMD. Good job on that one, Obi. Big Bear AI does fade off of $8 again. So we've seen this happen before. Let's wait to see what happens with Big Bear AI. We talked about getting back up into $8 and potentially taking some profit up there. And then just coming through on my watch list here today, just to find out like what's moving around, just sort of by percentage change. Looks like we got AMD near the top, obviously at 27% stock sell with a new record high today, up $42, close to there's the 52-week. Oh, actually I got to move these around because I want the 52-week high to come over, but I'll have to do that maybe off air as I don't have it right here right now. So we'll look at that again, but 52-week highs coming for AMD, SMCI as well. They're up 6%, Mara, Palantir up another 4%, ARM up 4%. On the downside, and we're going to go to Adair right now just because we're going to talk about some more markets, we have Starbucks down 4% there, Meta down 1%, NVIDIA down 1%. So not all is comfortable everywhere. JP Morgan down to 306 again, Robinhood getting hit a little bit. So some of the financials taking a little bit of a back seat today. But we're going to go over, talk with Adair. She's got small cap recap, so let's go over and talk to her.
Let's talk here about the IWM to start things off. This one, a little bit of a double top, at least right off the open here with our highs over from Friday. We were unable to sustain that strength. Right now, trying to push a little bit lower, though slightly green on the day, is the Russell 2000. Now, again, Russell 2000 is often known for being pretty sensitive here when it comes to rate decisions or economic data. And it's worth noting we don't have a ton of economic data coming through lately. So IWM, something to be aware of there. Also, I want to let you guys know, I just saw this popping up. AMD CEO Lisa Su is set to speak on Bloomberg at 11 a.m. So stay tuned for that. I'll cover any notable points from that interview. Let's talk here about SPRB. Spruce Bioscience is about a $28 million market cap and a float of roughly 470,000 shares. So very small float for SPRB, receiving FDA breakthrough therapy designation for one of its treatments. Then we have CRML, Critical Metals. This one announcing a purchase agreement here to raise $35 million in gross proceeds. CRML is a smaller cap name that we've traded before. It's around 700, closer to $800 million market cap with a 14.55% short float. Last but not least, IREN. This one's a lot larger market cap than the other two, about $15 billion. It's not a true small cap, but this one does have quite the propensity to run. It is a bit more expensive, around $57. And IREN is a Bitcoin play or crypto-related play, so this one's certainly on watch. With crypto's recent rally, Bitcoin actually reaching all-time highs over the weekend. Before we send you back to Obi and Sean, we're going to take a moment to thank our friends at Trade the Pool. Beat Ackman live trading competition is here with Trade the Pool. October 8th to 10th. Every day Ackman makes his move and your mission is to outperform him. Beat his return. Prove you've got what it takes. And then the grand finale on October 13th, broadcast live on Trader TV with the Trade the Pool, the team live in the studio. Over $600,000 in prizes are up for grabs. $25,000, $50,000, even $100,000 valuation accounts, and even surprise giveaways during the live show. Don't just watch, compete. Beat Ackman, win big, scan the QR code, and start trading. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Adara, for all of that. People keep on yelling about Tesla. I mean, I'm gonna slap a fail because we did get stopped out at 440. I just wonder if we should have retaken it once we saw that it was holding there. And I, first one to admit, obviously, that I was not able to see that and therefore missed it. So, yeah, I just didn't look at it. Kind of sucky to miss that. That's too bad. All right, so we're just going to continue to watch out for it. Affirm on a nice move up there today as well. Nice play there. I want to see if Klarna was getting any love back to the upside there for Klarna. Yeah, up 3% again. So Affirm and Klarna and all that. I mean, Klarna had a nice little bounce off of its IPO lows. Well, just because of recent IPO, but that low was $35, now back up to 42. So maybe there's something there on a day when crypto is starting to go out, expect a name like Bullish to become bullish, and it looks like that is what's happening here as well. Up another 4 and a bit percentage points. Watch out for a 70 break here on BLSH. I mean, that was a good level to come through there as well. Yeah, you're still fighting, not fighting them, but you're still, both of us are in this AMD. I have, just so everybody's marked this out, I know it's $11, but I'm going to wait for 214 to break, and so I just have that last 2%. I mean, I hope it gets back up there for Obi. He has most likely way more shares than I do at this point. So we're going to wait to see if that can go back up. I'm just trying to hold this to see what it wants to do. I need to do a better job of holding things, that's for sure. Would have liked to have held that all the way back in. So we'll try to do better over there. And I think that, you can always look to hold something, but maybe it is just this 21 period moving average, which is this gray right there. Because when it broke for Tesla, we could have got out. Which maybe would have given me a little bit of a fresh look there as well. So we could have done a little bit better for sure on all of that. But yeah, what's up, Unique Trading Group? Breakout pullback on Tesla. Yeah, there it is right there. Thank you, Unique Trading Group. You're always in here. Thank you for the super chats you give as well. We can get back in. Yeah, I think we can get back into Tesla. That's why I just showed it up there. I do want to look at it. And then others were saying, I don't know if you have anything else on your mind, but SoFi right now. I bought more this morning. Okay. I just bought more SoFi this morning.
This morning?
So, yeah, well, we talked about it on the show. Nah, but it's in my RRSP account. So this is like, just bought, whatever, I'll tell you, I bought $6,000 worth. It's not, I'm just putting it away for a little bit there. We're averaging up into SoFi. We've had a good trade on SoFi for a while there right now. So we're just going to average up on it. Again, I like the name. I like what they're doing. I like the fact that there's got a younger crowd involved with SoFi. The new era in banking is here, right? We saw it with Robinhood. Yep. We're now seeing it with SoFi. And I just think that, I say this to my kids all the time, is that when you get your new bank, like my kid just opened up a TD Bank account, and it's like, he's probably never going away from TD. Like, I don't know if you've switched.
I've never. So I opened an RY in early high school, and I've never switched.
Right.
Yeah, I've never switched. I've stayed with them, and RBC is great. And you know what I found out though. I never knew that Royal Bank is like all across the world, like actual locations, but they're kind of like separate branches.
Okay.
So it's still somewhat different. When I was in the Caribbean, they have Royal. Their RBC is a Royal Royal Caribbean Bank,
so
but it's the same. It's the same bank.
Okay.
So it's the same logo, same everything. It is.
They're affiliated.
Yeah, it's affiliated. So I asked them. I was like, can I still access my account? They're like, we're just a little bit. The parent company I think is the same, but yeah, it's not this. Cool. It's not in terms of the system. It's not the same system.
And I'm not buying like SoFi here or Robinhood or anything like that because I think the youth are like, loaded with money and willing to go in there. But remember, you do have the PDT rule that's going to get lowered, right, to $2,000. So I think that's going to affect Robinhood and SoFi and Webull and some of these other trading. Like Charles Schwab, I think, is a great opportunity. If you like sort of that opportunity and you want to get a little bit older crowd, Schwab, I think, IBKR, I think, also is another great thing to buy. So I just like all of that, and it's the reason why is to the point that Obi had just mentioned there. I think that once you're in a spot, you may stay there. So that's my look there. So you're going to get, as long as they're buying a house, you're going to get a mortgage. They also have like 3.8 to 4% of savings interest just in there for your savings account. So I think that's also a pretty cool thing to do. You don't have to force your money into a high yielding account. It just, as long as you have a direct deposit, you're going to qualify for some of that. So I think that's
favorite Swiss bank.
My favorite Swiss bank. Oh no, what's this talk about?
I don't know. I'm just asking.
I don't have one.
Okay.
I don't know any Swiss. Well, I know some Swiss banks. I can't think of them off the top of my head.
I was just curious, for all those Swiss accounts.
All those Swiss accounts. I don't have any Swiss accounts, man. Mine are in Bahamas. But there's no wonder why I can't hear back from the CRA anytime soon here, But fucking guys, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. But no, we're just playing around. No, all the banking is over here, of course. Yeah. I wish I made enough money to. Look at tax shelters and all that kind of stuff, but unfortunately,
you know what I found out? A lot of Apple's capital is not
in the U.S.
In the U.S. And if they want to bring it in, they have to pay taxes on all that. So it's just better to kind of diversify and build your brand around the world, right?
Ireland had some sort of a tax shelter for a while there, like the 80s, 90s, maybe even still now in the 2000s, which were creating a lot of American companies to get over there and bank and open up sort of shell corporations there in the UK and in Ireland. In Ireland specifically, I don't know about the UK, but Hawaii is a good tax shelter. Look, man, I don't know about all that stuff. So, but yeah, I think that money management, I think, is so key these days, right? No one wants to pay taxes. But why is Starbucks down, Adara, today? Okay, so thank you, Adara. Starbucks down 3%.
They look like they need a refill or what?
I don't know if they need a refill. They need a shot of caffeine. I don't know what they need right there, but.
Absolutely nothing. They increased their quarterly dividend by 1 cent as of Wednesday, and that's the most recent story I have on Starbucks.
There's a lot of my hesitancy about all these kind of stocks is I don't believe the consumer is very strong. So I'm just waiting for a little bit more of a bump up to get out of some Lulu, take like a 5% haircut on that one maybe on Lulu there. But I don't. The fact that there is no news just kind of highlights that. I mean, we saw DraftKings down. Maybe there is less money. I mean, this goes against buying SoFi because there's a lot of money in young people's hands. But yeah, Starbucks continues a downside take there. I would say give it a chance. Brian Nickel over there coming from Chipotle does get a runway in my opinion, but he's been there now for about half a year, maybe 2 quarters, so or maybe even longer than that. When did Brian Nickel come on board? Adara there? She always tends to remember those things. I think it might have been into this area. Brian Nickel, when did he take over as the boss there?
So he started in September of 2024. Also, I looked further into this. Apparently, Starbucks had a whole bunch of job cuts and store closures.
Okay.
That was initially reported a week ago. Wall Street Journal released an article about it on Saturday morning. I'm going to keep looking into this, but apparently it was called Project Bloom, and as I indicated earlier, we already kind of knew they were going to be cutting stores. That was reported about a week earlier.
Right.
My local Starbucks is one of the stores cut.
All that pressure.
Okay, thanks, Adara. Yeah, so good deep dive there. Yeah, no, I was going to say, so that just goes with what I was saying, cutting of stores, letting go of some
I guess they have been closing some places.
Letting go of employees there. I mean, I thought it was the whole go back to work idea that might hit.
Oh boy.
Ooh, Canada, some budget information here on Canada. It doesn't sound like it's nothing. They're releasing a full budget moving forward. I guess we hadn't done that in the past, but All right, here we go, man. Nice little take there on AMD. I can see maybe you're averaging up into that because you just had a 208.
Yeah, I want to see better price action. This is what I was saying. I guess people in the chat before, I was just like, yeah, we're holding that 208s, 210s pretty well, but I want to see some more oomph. I need to see the bid actually step in. Like, sure, the sellers have slowed down. Sure, we're starting to accept a little bit of price in and around here, but let's see, can we break out of this consolidation? Can we break out of some of these pre-market levels? Best believe a lot of volume coming in on these two candles. When I'm looking at a 5-minute chart, I'm talking about the 805 and the 810 candle. Yeah, aggressive volume coming in. So we're kind of knocking on the door of some of those breakout levels here as of right now after aggressive selling. So a little bit of turbulence, I think, is definitely expected. But I've been watching this consolidation for a while. I'm like, all right, if we get going soon enough, I like it. But we could still very well just chop around, right? We haven't necessarily broken this consolidation with any sort of like distinct push. So like I said before, just trying to keep it light. Let's see a bid actually come in. If we can get above this 211s and really push, again, VWAP sitting at 214s. That anchored VWAP is also sitting at 214s. And yeah, the shorts off of the open were absolutely beautiful as well. So something to watch out for. If we're gonna crack now, then that's. It is what it is. I'm more than willing to get out and reassess as well on this one. Like I said, gonna keep it nimble unless and until it actually shows me something aggressive where the buyers are stepping in, holding structure. Oh yeah, that was aggressive selling. Yeah. So not looking so great right now.
No, good try there on AMD. I mean, there's nothing wrong with trying to get the back end of that trade to the upside, of course, as we let that settle down. I'm still in this trade. I'm not doing anything till VWAP. We talked about 214. That's my out there. So if we continue to break lower, fine. I have a very small piece left on this 2% left. That's it. So we did really well, though, on AMD to hold it. Basically, most of our outs are right around here, 213, 214. These are each about 2.5%, 3% outs. So we just hold that. Okay, there it is. Now AMD's at day's low right now. So let's sign off on this short. Again, watching out for that 210. Pretty comfortable sitting here in this trade, so not much to worry about right there as the market pulls. I was about to go long on Google at 245 and didn't, and that's too bad because there goes Google right there, bouncing again right there off of the 50-period moving average. Didn't quite get into the 200. Looks pretty choppy in here, which is why I didn't do it, but it's definitely something I was looking at. So yeah, missed opportunity over there. The other name that I traded today was was NVIDIA. We have Tesla, NVIDIA, and AMD obviously on our board here today, but yeah, this could be a long. I'm thinking about a long. We had wrote down 184, but here it comes now cracking lower. I'm going to let NVIDIA do its own thing. Now, the other one that was weak earlier, we talked about the consumer. It's going to look like Amazon wants to drip lower here. The market flat. Well, the market flat on the day. If anything, actually looking down from open, right? But flat so far here trading. Amazon underneath. I mean, if we can get up to 220, the 200 period, I definitely like that short. But what else is hitting around some of your levels, everybody? I'm just going back to the well. Tesla 442. This could be something that we support there at 442 as well with VWAP and the 50-period moving average. Tesla, tough trading here. PALI, someone just mentioned there in the chat. Thanks for that, Julian. Let's have a quick look at this one. Palisade Bio, $2. This looks like one of those runners again today. Yeah, 20. So not doing much, Julian. It did have a nice move early. Now that breaks a little bit lower on that. I kind of want to go short the futures right now. So I'm thinking about TQQs. Also, this AMD, it's $12. I don't want to look at it and say like, oh, it's $12 in money, I got to take it, because that's what I get caught in. Like, you should be looking at price action, not necessarily how much you have in or out of that stock. But yeah, just having a hard time finding somewhere to get in. So if there is anything in the chat there, Palantir plug Archer, ACHR, thanks for that idea there in the chat, Supertainment. A good call on there. What was the Archer news today, Adara? Up 10%.
Okay, so people are speculating because there was something that looked like a propeller in one of the Tesla hype videos that was posted. Right. People think Archer and or Joby, not necessarily those companies, but that they could benefit from any type of eVTOL related deal with Tesla.
Okay, thanks. That makes perfect sense right there. So you see Archer, the upside on rumor. So again, I sell the rumor, buy the news, sell. buy the rumor, sell the news. So tomorrow when October 7th hits and has nothing to do with anything like this, watch out for Archer to pull back in. I don't mean to talk negatively about it, but that tends to be what happens. So a good play up there for Archer. We just showed you the longer term look. Look, I mean, those of you that are in Archer, it's great, and Joby as well. There's a lot of good positive momentum here in these names, especially basing off some of these levels. So 15, 16 there, great level up to 18. So yeah, and you could. I just want to let everybody know that it could be a monster play there if there is something announced with either one of those companies. But AMD, Obi, cracking lower. It looks like that 210 rejection that you had mentioned there was a really big one now.
Yeah, that was a place to get in, I think, for the continuation short, because we saw sellers come in pretty aggressively off of those references, and now we're almost pretty much at the day lows again. 205.74's day lows on AMD, currently trading at 207. So we're still with it, just holding that consolidation as of right now, looking much weaker. Again, the markets, the Nasdaq is pulling in pretty decently as well. We attempted to push a little bit higher, and the Nasdaq is pulling in pretty decently. So that's something to watch for as well. I'm sure that's going to affect a little bit of the push in and around on AMD. 206s, man. This is, again, if the market drops in, and maybe we magnet to that 25,000 we were looking at last week as well. Again, coming into the beginning of the week, some strong selling, and I always think about like candle formation, right?
Yep.
Candle formation on the weekly. Maybe we're making a little bit of a bottom wick. We know that we've been pretty strong and aggressive overall. Any sort of selling doesn't last more than like 2 or 3 days, even though it has been pretty aggressive. But it's interesting. I'm learning. I'm learning along the way. I think that's I can safely definitely say that I'm learning along the way, and hopefully trying to get a little bit better as well day by day on some of these crazy moves, man. We talk about this market. It's just getting. I feel like it's getting crazier and crazier every single day. Now, I mean, you were around during COVID. You were around during, I guess, like 01s as well. No.
Just after I started. So my trading career started in 02.
02. Okay. So you're coming in the backside off of that, but still in and around those times, like some of the trades that were happening post 01s were absolutely crazy as well. The backside of the move, literally.
No, I think that it was great then. I think now might maybe better. I mean, the trend is just so strong.
That's what I wanted to ask. Yeah. Compared to those times,
and just the trading opportunities, right? Like Sure, there's many more stocks available to trade right now, but like the recent names there that had some hot IPOs, this whole boon right now in the whole AI space has given us, like, we've been trading NVIDIA for years now, AMD for years, and it's just like Tesla now. Like, there are all so many great opportunities right now in the market that, I mean, look, every time is great. I thought COVID was a great time to trade. I think a lot of you saw some huge gains and losses in your own portfolios during that time as well. So, yeah, I think it's just to suit your own sort of tolerances, right? And some people don't like these markets. They are too whippy, but, you know, the trend has just been beautiful. I'm getting out of AMD if we break 209.50. It's this 50-period moving average. The only time I was really scared, and it was when we sort of broke this 210, and it almost got going there. So I'm not going to give it, like that is now at 209. I'm going to give it to 209.50, so another slight break on that. Or we could go up here, but I don't want to go to 211.50. I think like that's giving up too much of this move. There's no way, like I could sit here and take some out at 206. That's probably fine. But like I did it there already so I already have a 207.50 or 208 or whatever fill right there. And I think that that's good enough. So, and then we punched out again on a 210 break. I'm just going to do it if we break that level and get out. Like, if anything, I'm thinking, like I said, about a short in the market. Would like to see that climb up a little bit right there. And then we've just talked about a couple different stocks, including SoFi, that could also be a nice little dip buy opportunity. So I want to sort of look elsewhere, I think, right now in the market. Let's go over to Adara.
Here's our sector board. Let's talk about what's moving right now. Electronic technology, the Meg 7s in this category are fairly tepid. NVIDIA down 1% after a mixed analyst note from Goldman Sachs. Apple and Broadcom, another major company, relatively flat. But AMD up 26%, even after giving back some of its early gains. Again, on this OpenAI deal, Arista Networks up 3%. KLAC up about 3%, and even names that occasionally lag in this sector, like Intel and Boeing, are also to the upside. Technology services, Meta and Google, a little bit weaker, but Microsoft nicely to the upside. Palantir up 4%, Oracle up 2%, finance a little bit mixed, retail trade pretty mixed with some notable weakness this morning in Home Depot and Lowe's. But health technology, Eli Lilly continuing to try to push higher after an incredible week last week. Producer manufacturing with some strength as well in applied materials and LRCX. Consumer durables being held up, it looks like, solely by Tesla. Again, they did release a video on social media with some people thinking that there could be a new event as early as tomorrow. Then we have communications, lots of weakness in the sector. I couldn't find any news on this, but I would say communications is probably the weakest sector on its face, other than consumer services. Again, Starbucks to the downside, announcing some store closures and layoffs. Those were announced late last week, but McDonald's and Booking Holdings also a little red today. Back to you.
Oh man, Micron. All right, so I'll talk about my trade. We just got out there of AMD, so out of now AMD, and we tried NVIDIA at 185, does not work again, so we'll fall down on NVIDIA, but that was really small. We tried a shot there, did not work, but yeah, out of AMD. That might have been the spot to not get out of AMD, but there goes the futures back down now again. So yeah, watch out now. Market seems to be falling out pretty good. I'm wondering if I'm ever gonna go short here on NVDA. Because it's been a short, and we tried 2 quick longs on there and nothing going. So watch out for that. And then look what's happening to Micron as well. I mean, this was up nicely today. This is falling back in and breaking through 190 now, MU. Potentially looking for bumps up in this to get a little bit more short. But yeah, the market's giving some up today on this OpenAI deal.
Yeah, man, I'm kind of, that Micron, we called that out earlier for a potential pop and drop, and what a beautiful 100% reversion back through the low, and it's giving you more. Again, market is dropping, man, but AMD kind of doing its own thing relatively right now, just consolidating, chopping around. Like this is the area, right? This is the area. It's chop, 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 chop. It seems like that 211, again, going to be interesting. That's where we initially saw, on the initial push of that 211, we saw sellers come in pretty aggressively. We saw them pull into some of the consolidation lows. So I have that, like I'm observing that piece of information, and let's see what it does in and around some of those reference highs where the sellers did come in to 1125s, and then this wick high from the pre-market is to 1118. So again, signifying that yes, it is in and around that area, well within 10 pennies of both of these areas where sellers have shown to come in pretty aggressively. If we pop up again, we overextended 227s and sellers were very, very dominant. Sellers were actually dominant. Let's just measure this from those all-time high tests all the way for a 9, almost a 10% pullback to the lows there on AMD. So a bit of a reversion to view on, but I don't know if it's poised. If sellers are going to continue to stay dominant, then sellers will stay dominant, right? This thing has been kind of consolidating and pushing for a while, and everyone's looking for that all-time highs, and we finally got those all-time highs. So do people sell a little bit on all-time high pushes? For sure, and we saw that aggressive action coming in on the day today. So no chasing for the long for me here. I liked the short. I like the reversion. Let's see if this 211s will come in here, 210s, but staying in the middle zone of this chop. I like that. Just staying in and around the average price and being nimble, looking for that range break to potentially come in because we have slowed down and we are a bit overextended to the downside relative to opening prices. The thing is, sellers are still dominant. Technically, this is still, from the open, is still in a downtrend. Bigger picture, still very much in an uptrend. So it's a bit of a battle of the best here between the shorts and the longs. Let's see who wins off of this consolidation here. I'm just trying to participate one way because in my head, the probabilities are maybe slightly skewed, but I'm wrong more often than I'm right. And I'm trying to get used to that as well. So we were talking about last week about how some of the best traders in the world, they're only right 30% of the time. They only win like 30% of the time. But when they lose really small. Yeah. And that's what puts them out over the top. Or how I see it is like I try it a couple of times.
You have to lose so small and win so big for that ratio.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So wrapping my head around that is difficult, right? Because like losing over and over can definitely, it can pull on your strings, get you a little emotional, get you a little tilted. But guess what? The fact of the matter is some of the best players are willing to tolerate that emotional fluctuation. So that tells you something about the nature of how some of the best players' mental is. And I want to kind of reflect that as best as I can. I get tilted all the time, man. Don't get me wrong. I get tilted very often. But a little bit less, and how to control that emotion, or sometimes not even control it, how to use that emotion to my advantage. I want to get aggressive. Okay, save that. Like here, for example, I missed the short. I'm like, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. But when that bid comes in, I'm there. I'm getting involved in the bid as soon as it comes in, right? So taking that emotion and using it effectively is something that I'm trying to get a little bit better at. Mike Doon saying after 6 tries, I would say no. Yeah, you can have like a strikeout rule. I usually use like a 3 strikes. 3 strikes, you're out. But often I find myself getting involved in certain areas, and I'll lose like 3 or 4 times before it actually works. And that stat kind of works out, right? For that specific kind of trade, I'm losing 3 or 4 times before I actually get it on the 5th time. And then if I'm getting it on the 5th time, does it look better? Is the EV higher? Is the structure looking much, much nicer? That gives me the ability to size me more aggressively as well. So when that confirmation comes in.
All right, so you've been wrong how many times today on AMD?
Okay, so I've been wrong, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4.
So you went 4 wrong,
5,
but you still,
6.
So you went 6 times,
6 times wrong,
and then you
1
still
time's
got,
right.
Right. So how far now does this have to go to get back positive?
I'm not even looking at that or thinking about it because I don't know what it is. But like I'm looking for the move, right? I'm looking for the price action.
Your point is what I'm trying to get at, right? Is that you tried it 7 times, 6 times, all wrong.
Yeah, and I haven't gone aggressive at all with it yet.
Right. So that's what I'm saying.
Another thing,
but are you aggressive with it now?
No.
Okay.
Not aggressive with it now.
So there you go. So all right.
I keep saying I want to see structure. Well, let's get above VWAP. Let's get above 214s, right? I still want to have inventory from down here if we're going to do that, and I'm willing to lose on that smaller amount of inventory as well, right? I want to try to pyramid into this position as best as possible. So we'll see how that potentially comes.
I do want to. So there we go. So we are now short. That whole 30% right, 70% wrong thing would never fly for me, period. And I know Obi's read a lot about that, but like I've trained thousands of traders, and if you're on a prop floor, that is a recipe for absolute disaster. So I just want to make sure that everybody understands. I think it's different if you're swing trading or something like that, but if you're wrong 7 out of every 10 times, your career is quickly over. All right, so just real quickly here on NVIDIA. We are now in the downturn right now. Hopefully we can get some. We did finally flip short. And to Obi's point, I was long there once, long there twice. Then I said, forget about that, man. We're going to flip short. So now we put some money back into our pocket. We're not up right now on NVIDIA at all. But, and again, everybody's trading style and your ability to use share size properly, I think that's, to Obi's point, I think that's the most important, which is why I asked him about that, right? About like, when is it time to get aggressive? And Obi definitely answered that. So I do want to say, I do appreciate that as well. We're already out of half of this NVIDIA trade because I'm waiting for this 184 similarly to the break higher on AMD when you're going to punch a little bit longer there or whatever you're going to do. I'm still waiting for a break lower here on NVIDIA, and I'm going to use this 185 or so, 185. Well, I'm going to go up a little bit more than that, but 185.50 or so, I'm going to try to get a little bit more at 185, but also understanding that the market is lifting right now a little bit. So good trade over there, Obi. Yes, nice little bounce back. We got out of our AMD already on that break right there, 209.50.
You were asking me like what it takes to get back to green because I've lost so many. So if I were to cover, so I did check after you said that. If I were to cover right here, I am green on the day. So like that's why I don't even care about that. I'm trying to play the move. I'm trying to play the price action. I want more. I've lost 6 times already, won once, and then technically if I cover right now, yeah, okay, fine, green. But I'm just trading P&L then. I'm like losing focus of the trade. The trade is going right now. We're going to that 214s. It is 213s right now. It's tapping on VWAP, right? VWAP at 214. So let's see if that potentially comes in. We're finally starting to see a little bit of what I want to see. Let's see if we can hold this structure. Remember what I said about that 211s? We blasted through that 211s right into 213s. So yeah, a little bit of an intraday offside through this consolidation high. Let's see if we can revert to VWAP. The buying is definitely much stronger. And if you've been staring at this tape like I have, it is a little bit distinctly different as of right now. Yeah, what's up, Darren? Sorry.
Here's the US dollar. US dollar here, as I've said in the daily chart, is continuing to slowly make these higher highs and higher lows from that low year that we made on September 17th. That is, of course, Fed Day. No economic data today, unfortunately, and that's actually not even related to the fact that we don't have numbers, or at least we have quite a few less numbers because of the shutdown. We were never scheduled to have any major numbers today anyway, beyond the 3-month and 6-month bill auctions at 11:30 a.m. Tomorrow, though, we are going to get a slew of data, so stay tuned. We're going to get Fed's Bostic, Bowman, Myron, and Fed's Kashkari. That's all from 10 to 11:30 a.m., so 4 Fed speakers in a 1 hour and a half time frame. Then later in the day, we're going to be getting Fed's Myron one more time at 4 p.m. And then in the middle of all that, we'll be getting the 3-year note auction at 1. So tomorrow, very eventful. Today, a lot more ho-hum. The one kind of event to be aware of here is we will get Caroline Leavitt, White House press secretary, having her 3rd press conference in a week. That'll be at 1 p.m. today. And then AMD CEO Lisa Su set to speak on Bloomberg News at 11 a.m. I'll be covering that. We're going to take a look here as well at the Fed Watch tool, because I do apologize again, not a ton of economic data to look for, at least for today, but 94.6% of participants still expecting we will get a 25 basis point cut, roughly 5% expecting that rates will be held at the same amount. But yeah, let's wait and see here if we do get that 25 basis point cut as expected. October 29th is the day here for the next Fed meeting. But again, there is a chance that we have maybe a bit of a surprise, given that Fed speakers are not able to necessarily assess all the data that we were expecting to get because of the shutdown. Depending on what the shutdown ends, we'll have a very different amount of data for these Fed members to parse through. Back to you.
Thank you, Adara. Yeah, that's why I really appreciate Obi being here. It's a completely different talk when Obi's here, as opposed to Neil and opposed to me or anybody that we have on here. And it's always great to hear different styles, and then, you know, the honesty there of getting hit and making it back and now going positive, right? We often
you got to be so good at losing, man. That's what I
the thing. It's like
you got to get good at losing, and that's a lot of people have trouble doing that.
I mean, you mentioned, you know, you had a negative month or whatever and all that. And
yeah,
that's
I mean,
what
negative months are very, dude.
We often don't get as much honesty, so that's why I really.
There are definitely negative months along the way.
Oh,
man.
no, I appreciate.
Like I watched trader reviews where a lot of traders are very, I guess, open with their P&L, and they show their statements and they verify their statements as well. So like I'm familiar with a lot of this. Yeah, and even some of these like 7-figure a year traders, they have red months as well. They take swings, but they have months that totally outweigh those as well. So it's just like, you know what I mean?
You're crushing it. It's great. It's like I said, it's great to have you here.
You still in that long, Joe?
Do that. I mean,
those 208s was nice, bro. Those first buyers that came in, like after that, sure, we got a lot of chop and we got a lot of scary pullbacks, but it's like the action was still distinctly different from the initial selling, which kept me a little bit involved, right? So we'll see.
We love that, Obi. We love that. Yeah, it's great. So now we have both of us, completely, and as long as your trade keeps going, which it looks like it's going to, completely green on the day. It's always great to see that, and it's great when both of us can put up numbers, and it's I was actually, it's too bad because I was sort of thinking like all of these outs were because we thought that there was that bottom there, right? And there's that 215. So I'm really glad that we were able to get out before it gets all the way up to VWAP, as we took $12 or whatever. My best fill is 12 on AMD, but it doesn't really matter. We're near the highs of the day for ourselves, but a lot of that is because we just switched over into NVIDIA and went short. So as AMD starts to rip, it's actually the NVIDIA short right now that's now 40 cents in the money as we get down to the downside. So again, man, we've got it good here today. And the difference is I see some people here. We do have this live tracker here that we could be going over. The guys on the midday show will do a little bit more than that. Obi and I, again, we have our own style. We've been trading a lot of the same names, and when you're making bank, you kind of just stay there, right? I mean, when the bank's open, you just keep on hitting it. So that's what we've been doing here today. But Spruce Power, definitely a name that these guys are going to look at. SPRB has been halting back and forth a little bit there today. Meta down to 700 could be a look as well. Big Bear AI, nice bounce today up to 750. It did get close to $8 though. But here comes NVIDIA, man. That's a stock that I have on right now. We've talked a little bit about Archer for sure. Robinhood, we looked at that. I bought some more SoFi today long. in the old account there, so I'm pretty, so far, happy about that one. And there goes NVIDIA, man. And that's what I'm saying. Make the money either way, whatever way you can in this market. Guys, make it right there, because that's 50 cents now as we still go short right now on NVIDIA. So, you know, we don't have that AMD from the bottom, but the thing about the AMD trade is we still got out when it broke 209.50. So we basically saved ourselves that, because we almost, and look, we would have stopped out at 214. Right 214 was a great short area there for sure off of VWAP. So some of the lines continue to matter there, and especially with advanced micro devices. I'm getting ready to go to the gym. It should be a good one there. We're going to end the show at the highest spot of the day for myself, so that's pretty good. And it's most of it, obviously, it's all due to what's happening right there in NVIDIA. Tesla's still hovering around that spot that we had bought earlier, buy, right there. So we like that one, but we'll have to wait to see what happens here with NVIDIA. Trying to get lower. We're getting some, obviously, we're getting some more out here as we just have pieces left as it just keeps on coming back into these lows.
Yeah, no, I like it. So I did take some off at VWAP, arguably not enough, but again, we're starting to go now. Sellers might be stepping in on VWAP, and we could get right back through 210s, and that's fine. I'm more than willing to kind of give it again. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for $2 or $3 scalps on this. I'm looking for a full kind of hold of structure. But if sellers were dominant off open, sellers were dominant through VWAP, and on the retest, they're pulling back in on VWAP. So I do have to respect that information a little bit. And again, the great thing about being on a prop floor is that we have the ability to get in and out for relatively nothing. Sometimes even get paid on getting in and out as well. So just remembering that and not getting too attached to the position and being like, all right, well, should I really be kind of holding this back in, or should I wait and look for a structure hold? Right now, this VWAP is holding as a bit of resistance. We pulled back in through these prior highs, and sellers are stepping in pretty nicely here. We're back on 210s, so let's see what 210s do. Market's pulling back in here as well, right? So you can see that Nasdaq, a little bit of a top wick as we close in on this 15-minute candle. So we were looking at the 5, the move started to go. So you know what? I like to step it up a little bit. Let's go from the 5 to the 15 now and see how the 15 is looking. That's a nice little nasty top wick on the 15-minute candle. 2 minutes left until that's finished printing. So right there, let's see. I'm curious to know, do we close green or red on this? We're holding that 210 as of right now. Does this bar close above or below this prior support resistance level that we identified? That's another question that I'm asking as well as this kind of chart starts to form. The 15-minute looking pretty nicely. Let's go up. Let's go up one more. The 30-minute maybe potentially as well. But we did get a retest of that VWAP, and I'm keeping that information as giving it a little bit of significance, right? But the bigger picture, most of the selling I think we did get a lot of selling off of the open. So another question I'm asking is most of the selling done today?
No.
I have no idea. Sean says no. If VWAP sellers persist, the answer is absolutely no. So it is what it is, man. Great trading.
Yeah, really excited to go back. Whoa, just dropped.
Hey, yo.
The microphone there. Excited to go out, take a midday break, which is what's been really working for me, right? Like we put on these trades in the middle, at the beginning of the day, and it's tough to trade live in front of everybody. So Obi,
hey, yo.
Good talk today, man. This guy, people saying that Obi is a real one. I don't want to say any more than that. I mean, you guys have already identifying that. There's reasons why Obi keeps getting invited back here, right? So congrats, Obi. Good job there. We really appreciate you filling in for Mr. Roberts. Hopefully he'll be back here tomorrow. Yeah. And we'll get him coming through again. But we have to do one thing that we forgot to actually do on Friday.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, less than 1 minute left. Today we had some scrambled eggs and chicken chorizo to start off with. It was okay. The scrambled eggs were pretty nice. I just took a little scoop, had a little bit of that before. Got to get the protein. Shout out to my guy to my left over here. All right.
Salty. It was a little salty.
Yeah, it was a little bit. That's what I say. There was a little. I don't add salt or pepper to them, but anyways, just one little quick one there. And I still didn't have, maybe we'll have a Randy's little peach there afterwards. Okay, today's thing. Oh. I don't know what to think about this. This word in front of it is what's getting me right now. It's Mexican.
Okay.
Beef chili. So I think maybe a little bit of corn, maybe like a little bit Mexican street food maybe action going on there. So I think there's a potential there for this to be pretty good, but we'll let you know what it is. It's Mexican beef chili on top of, or I guess with the side of, Mexican rice. So the theme today is Mexican, good call there. With cornbread and apparently the toppings here. So I don't know if you top your own here, I guess, is what we're talking about. Diced tomatoes, sour cream, green onion, shredded cheese, a hint of cilantro, and then with a side of salad, which I really appreciate that. We get salad all the time. So there we go. Thank you so much. Again, I sound very Canadian. Okay. So that is, I guess, what we sound like. And if we sound Canadian, we say, "Oh, Canada." And we give our hats off to the Toronto Blue Jays, who did their work this weekend, man. They did work. They beat the New York Yankees 10-2, then 13-7, and absolutely bang up a couple games there. We look for game 3. It's not over yet. The Yankees are a beast of a team. So we'll see if we can close them out. I think it's still going to go 3 or 4 games, or 4 or 5 games, as we head into game 3. And by the way, Obi, the last time I saw you, you picked the Thursday night winner, man. 49ers won.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
There we go. That was an upset, actually.
Yeah.
The Rams were heavily favored. I didn't want to tell you that.
Really?
And
Okay,
you still picked the 49ers.
I just got lucky, man. Sometimes I just get lucky.
Obi's the ninja. Sean is the OG. We'll take that all day. All right. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you at 2 p.m. Don't go anywhere. It's the midday show. It's Sharif and Joe. Ciao till then.
Trade safe.